Hello and welcome to episode number 49 of the Pylon Show. I am one of the hosts, Mr. In Control, joined by my esteemed colleague, non-collegiate scholar extraordinaire, and now S-ranked Brood War player, Mr. Dan Artosis Stemkowski. Thank you, Dan, for joining us.
Thank you, Jeff. Did you hear the guitar story last night on GSL?
No, I did not.
You must have been asleep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll save that for you. You're gonna love it.
Anyways,
story? Happy to be back. Here we go. Woo!
Yeah, be good. We are joined by two people that are not unfamiliar with the Pylon Show. First up, we have, fresh off of a fantastic WCS commentary extravaganza, it is none other than Ravi, Fear Dragon 64, Parikh. Ravi, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good to have me.
Good to have you.
I don't speak for a living, Jeff, okay?
What's that?
I don't speak for a living.
You do, though. You do now. You're full-time.
I do, yeah.
It's okay. I still like your intro. I think that was really good.
No, thank you. It's about as good as my WCS intros, so.
Fair enough. And many people call this guy the Fear Dragon of Korea on the other side of the, the show.
Insults? Or...
Is it? We don't know. It could be, it could not be. It's impossible to tell. It is RAPiDCasting. Thank you for joining us, man.
Yeah, no, I'm glad to be here. I think the only other time I was on was when you were not here, Jeff. So it's nice
really?
to. Yeah. I think you were doing. I think you were casting Warhammer.
Yeah, something like that. And we had a Brood War episode.
Yeah. But I also couldn't be
Jeff's
there.
asleep, a Brood War episode.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Yeah. So somehow I managed to sneak on when you're out here.
Wow,
so it's good to get the real Pylon experience.
I think you have such a sticky voice that I just feel like I've been on an episode with you or something like that, or it just feels like it hasn't been that long.
I feel like my voice has been described about just about everything except sticky, so I can check that one off the list.
Well, it's not. Do you think it's an insult or is it a compliment?
You know, it's. I guess we'll just.
Fear Dragon's voice is sticky.
Find out.
I mean,
exactly
what does that mean, though?
We'll never know.
Okay.
Fear Dragon, I can be sticky voice bros now.
Okay.
A lot of people were wondering why
I don't know if I want to fist bump on it, but okay.
Why Rapid's lighting is the way it is. He originally tried to darkface, like, the black, like, speak behind a weird thing, but he couldn't do it. So we're just going to have to settle with being able to see his face on a Starcraft 2 show. He's trying to do it for the Brood War fans, but we'll have to make do.
I'm just going to go with the casterism of we'll see how it turns out. And if we make it to the end of the show without graphic tragedy, I'll say it's a brief success.
That's all we can ever do. Brief successes. We have an interesting show. I do want to say that we actually are planning and trying to put together our show match that it was actually tentatively going to maybe happen today. But of course, when trying to corral commentator-player hybrids, you'll often find that scheduling such things are very difficult. I will say, in his defense, because he's been, he got some flack for scheduling stuff earlier. It was not Jim Rising. It was JYP who was like, maybe I can, and he was like, no, I can't. So hopefully we'll get him.
He should be able to do it next week.
Yeah,
he's very interested in doing it.
We have another
and
show
showing you,
next week,
Jeff, that you are wrong. So.
No, we have another show scheduled next week. Dan would know that if he read the actual Discord where we plan all these things and talk about it at great length. But
wait, what do we have scheduled next week?
Oh, it's not announced yet, Dan, but it's just not publicly
I already
announced.
got both guests ready for next week and a couple topics.
Yeah. So we'll do it a different.
Working with Dan, you guys, I've never experienced this, but if I had a grandfather that like sometimes forgot that I was his grandson and like we were doing this project together, that's what it's like to work with Dan. It's like every week he floats in and is like, why am I here? What's going on? We're like, you're supposed to do this thing, Dan? He's like, what? And he's like, all right, I'll do it. We're like, well, we like toss up in there. We're like, is he gonna come down? Is he gonna do it? Anyways, I love these guys.
My heart's in the right place, though.
Yes,
and that's what matters.
100% it is. Let's get into this. We're gonna go through. It's a regular show. We got some funnier topics to talk about. I think that's great because we have got two guests here. We'll talk about these topics and go through them, and then we'll do our Q&A and call it a show. Dan, without further ado, this week is Starcraft plays.
We're going to do This Week in StarCraft. Are we ready?
Heck yeah, we are.
We're not going to talk about our sponsors at all?
Oh shit, you're right. That's actually okay. Sometimes
You know, guys,
You know
working
what?
with Jeff is kind of like working with this old man that sometimes wanders into the show. I mean,
What?
sometimes he's just not here because of Warhammer, but sometimes he wanders into the show and doesn't even know to do the sponsor plugs. But
That's
it's okay.
the best part
His
about
heart's in
me.
the right place.
Is I can tease somebody, and inside of 15 seconds, I'll do exactly what I'm teasing them about.
Yeah.
If you notice, it's actually a pretty continuous theme throughout my entire life. Anyways, let's go ahead and thank the people that make this show possible, and then we'll get into This Week in StarCraft. Thank you guys for bearing with us, by the way. We're in a loopy mood right now. I love that Cobra's already showing this to me on the previous screen, so we're going to go straight there. Guys, if you want to contribute to us on Matcherino, you absolutely can. And it's the same kind of stuff we've always been talking about. They're doing activation with 24-hour fitness. Get your butts in the gym. It's almost summertime. You think those nerdy girls are going to pay attention to you if you're just good at StarCraft? No. You need to have a body cast out of fire and iron like Rapid. So if you can get your butt in the gym, okay, do it through Matcherino. I'm just kidding, Rob. You got a body like that just won't quit either. And if not, that's okay too. Matcherino offers all kinds of other stuff. Cobra and team have been producing a lot of great mugs and shirts and all kinds of things. All that stuff contributes to supporting the Pylon show. But today, all you have to do is type in. Guess what day it is, Dan? It's an important day to you.
Thursday?
No. It's
May
not.
Day.
It's National Salad Month.
What?
Salad month?
That's all Dan can eat is salad. So this is a huge
Whole
month
month
for him.
of salad.
Yeah, exactly.
I like salad. There's some very good salads out there.
What's your
Greek
favorite salad?
That might be the best one.
Greek salad?
Greek salad.
If they took all the feta cheese off of it,
You
yeah.
don't like feta cheese?
Yeah, well, okay, hang him up. He's
Yeah.
done the show.
You're out.
Never
See why
heard
they keep
anyone
you on the
this-
Brood War episodes now.
My-
So it's just
my-
salad.
For no feta cheese on my salad.
Yeah, then it's not a Greek salad. It's literally just a clump of grass. So type in salad. Same as every week, guys, by the way. If you're listening to this on the podcast or on YouTube and you're like, oh no, it's 2 days later, still please try to type that in. It doesn't cost you any money, but it can get us some money on the show and support us through one of our sponsors. There's some great shirts on there too. We see them out in the wild, and we freaking love you guys. It's really funny stuff. Next up, AFKT. Like and make some tea, you guys. How you go from being a commentator to hosting a show that then randomly disappears and into being the tea guy, I don't know, but he did. And it's a good tea that Dan enjoys, and so have various other people. If you're drinking this stuff, let us know. Tweet at the Pylon Show or hit us up in Discord and say, yeah, I'm liking that tea stuff, man. And if I see you drinking that tea in public, I will hug you. And if you're drinking the tea and wearing a shirt, I will kiss you. No, I won't, because somebody actually will do that. I was gonna say I'd kiss you on the brow, but there's actually somebody that'll be like, Jeff, look, Jeff, and I'll be like, oh shit, and I won't do that. So, but a really robust hug. So thank you to Lycan, thank you to AFKT, and good luck in their endeavors. It's good stuff. Next up, and perhaps the most direct way to support the show is through our Patreon. And again, just every week I always say this, the number keeps on growing. We really appreciate that. You guys are amazing. We're over a year now. We had our 1 year episode a couple weeks ago, and we're pushing on to year 2. Dan, Cobra, and I and the rest of the team, I don't think there's any reason for us to stop. We're really enjoying this content. Everyone has been telling us they really enjoy it, so please continue to support it and grow it so we can pay our guests more, do more show matches, and do some more fun stuff with the money. We appreciate you guys. That's also how you ask questions to us too, by the way, which is... It's getting a little... I can feel it. I can feel the edgy energy in the questions. It's starting to come back a little bit. That I don't know why it is, but it's something about May or something. So you hit the Patreon button, the Q&A, and then you get to type it right there. And if you're a bigger... What tier is it, Cobra? It's like $50? The big question?
I believe it's at 25. If
25.
you have $25 or more, you can ask us 2,000 characters. If you $50, you can get 4,000 characters.
4,000
We've
characters.
not had somebody do that in Discord yet, but it's set up for them.
Oh, and thank God. But I'll
kinda
tell you,
weird.
somebody's going to do it at
I
some
want
point.
one of those. I want a 2,000-word question.
Yes. I had to do college papers where they were like, 2,000 words or less or 4,000 words less. That's actually, that's a lot. That's a couple pages. Anyways, that would be funny. But if not, no worries. That's okay too. So those are the best ways to support us. Of course, I will just mention this for one of the first times, but I really should do it every time before we get into This Week in StarCraft. We'd love it too if you'd support our guests. Make sure and follow Fear Dragon on his full-time streaming and commentating stuff. He streams just about every day. You can sub to his channel or watch his YouTube videos. They're really well produced. And then Rapid is Rapid. What do you do, Rapid?
Right now, I'm like a Zen monk in the mountains. It's like all I've been doing. But occasionally, I cast StarCraft in Korea.
Yeah, Starcraft. Check
He's
us out.
making YouTube videos too.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Are you making some YouTube videos?
Yeah, in general, I think more recently I've been focusing on a few other games besides StarCraft. So
That's
in general,
okay.
I don't make YouTube videos for those. But yeah, I've just been trying to give like overviews of like upcoming StarCraft events because I feel like a lot of times the events just like appear and people are just like, okay, well, I'll tune in, but I have no idea what I'm going to be watching. So maybe if there's some content out there that gives them a little bit more of an idea about that, maybe that will help them out a little bit. So
Very cool.
yeah, I know that ever since Ravi went full-time too, he's been making a ton of content, and it always helps everybody involved when people, follow and smash that like button.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That reference.
By the way, I really like those videos because, like, especially for if you're ever someone that misses StarCraft events, like because there's StarCraft going on all the freaking time, and you don't know like who the top players are or anything. They're really great ways because Rapid actually breaks down like, hey, here are like the stories coming into this event. Here's what you actually should know. It's a really good way to like get back into StarCraft right before an event.
Nice. Great job, guys. So thank you very much, everybody, for listening to that. That's the way to support us. Dan, you want to run us through what's been going on this week in StarCraft?
I would love to do that, Jeff. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. This week in StarCraft. First off, go for SC2. There's been a lot of talk about it because it has ended its ridiculously long streak. Thermal won the last one. I hope a lot of people showed up and gave their thanks to these guys because it was something like 877 Go for SC2 cups. I believe that was the number, if I recall correctly.
Very cool. They did that.
Yeah, big cheers to them for sticking around for so long. So that was awesome. Thank you guys, and congratulations to you, Thermal, for winning it. We have a little upcoming events calendar that you can kind of just peruse to see some of the big stuff coming up in 2019. That's within the show notes. Of course, the show notes are linked everywhere. Even if you download this as a podcast, you can just check it out, and there will be a link to this Google Doc that will always exist. All right. Anyways, going forward, the Banshee.
Well, Dan, just a second. Producers note that in a couple weeks, this calendar should be up on our website. Currently, we will have nothing there, but our web developers are making a special page where we can be able to submit all this stuff. So keep an eye out for that.
Nice.
Ooh, look at that.
As an event organizer,
We're
need
becoming
to
Team
submit
Liquid.
stuff?
Yes.
Do I need to now submit to TL Calendar and also this now?
We'll probably scrape it from Team Liquid just for you, Ravi.
Yeah. If you don't submit it to us, Alessandra will know that you wanted to submit it before you even submit it. That's the way she works. So
that's actually
good luck.
Pretty accurate.
There we go.
Back to you.
All right, so keep checking out the pylonshow.com because it just keeps getting better and better. Anyways, going forward, the Banshee tournament number 19 is on the 11th. Check it out on the challenge page, The Banshees. It says stream Ragnarokette. She filled in for Zombie Grub at least one time. Maybe it will happen again. Anyways, check it out as it's coming up. The Alpha X Pro Series, QXC, came out of his almost constant retirement that he's sometimes playing during while making board games and was defeated by Starkiller 5-1. Our Pizza Baron able to take him down.
Yeah. But the one win was an epic 30-minute game on Automaton where he played mech and almost lost like 3 different times, but won in the end. So, a spiritual victory, but an ultimate defeat.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
All right. Well, it was cast by Swaghar and Falcon Paladin. You can check that on Afrika TV.
Actually, I think they were off that day, so just Passer cast the whole thing, which was a beastly effort because the games were very long.
All right. He solo casted that whole thing?
Yeah.
And you were watching and you didn't jump in and be like, I'll help you out, man. I'm here for you.
No, I did not. I did what nobody else did and was there watching, so I felt like I was contributing.
Damn, dude.
All right. Wow. Thank you for the updates there. All right. The China Team Championships 2019 Season 1 in Week 3. Team LP defeated Psystorm 4-2. Invictus Gaming defeated Player player 1, 4-3. A newbie defeated Ocean Gaming 5-1. Jin Air took down Triumphant Song Gaming, the team with the best name, 4-2. It continues onwards. This is a great team league. There's a lot of good games being played over there. You can check it out. It's kind of all over the place. Wardy is the English stream, so you probably want to check it out over on his Twitch channel. All right, the NetEase Esports X 2019 Spring Tournament. Okay, so this is a little bit confusing as to exactly what it is. So Next has historically been kind of a big tournament in the Chinese scene, but I think that they are announcing that they're doing a team tournament too, because these are starting to really pick up right now in StarCraft 2. The Chinese seems to really enjoy it. So I'm not sure if they're still doing the 1v1 version of it, but they're definitely going to do the top 3 teams and Jin Air Green Wings. So you can follow this as best you can. Liquipedia is probably your best resource, and maybe on the Team Liquid forums. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to follow some of the Chinese things, but I think that the scene is becoming better at kind of gathering what's going on over there, especially with all these Korean and non-Korean top players joining into their teams and playing in these tournaments. So check it out. It's kind of an exciting rise of the Chinese scene right now. All right, the NA Apprentice Tournament, Fear Dragon. This is something that you're doing over on your channel. Why don't you tell us about this?
Yeah, so NA Apprentice, for those who don't know, it's not run by me, but I end up casting it. It's run by Sugar SE2. It's about highlighting up-and-coming NA players. The restriction is if you've made it to the round of 32 or further of a premier WCS event the past 2 years, you can't play in it. So like No Neeb, Jon Snow, Masa, Puck, etc. But these are really cool players, and we just finished the round of 8. So we have the semifinals and the finals happening next Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Is Disc versus Vindicta, Future versus Asuna. If you guys want all the VODs, they're all on my channel in the history. And if I had to pick one series to recommend, I'd say Vindicta versus BioIce was cool just because Vindicta just kind of got screwed over this past weekend with Challenger by Neeb losing his series. So then he got bopped by Jon Snow, and then he got bopped by Neeb. So it's kind of like he didn't really get to show that great of games because he also just kind of got hard countered by Jon Snow. So this is actually him doing well, and you get to see he's not a terrible player. So check it out.
Yeah, very cool. And it's neat that we have these consistent tournaments for players that aren't top tier pros or anything yet, because we're seeing the same names just continually pop up. You know, Starkiller and BioIce and Disc and Future, and very, very cool. So guys, check that out over on Rebby's channel. All right, the Master Swan Open, Sea Duckling Open. It was won by Xenoblaze this week. You guys can check out Cranky_Ducklings on Twitch and Challenge if you want to sign up. It has a bronze to diamond and a bronze to masters tournament. They alternate week by week. The Sentimiento Latino tournament. Sentimiento.
You got it.
Sentimiento, yeah.
Sentimiento.
Yeah. There we go.
Latino
Nailed it.
tournament. Yes. AKA Eric's Playground. Eric didn't play this week, I think. That must be it, right? Because he didn't. That's not a picture of Eric. I know what Eric looks like. I've seen the one picture of him that exists. Yep. That's not him. Eon ended up beating Sinner in this one. Number 53 will be played on May 4th. Check that out. OSC Esports is helping out with that as well. All right, Olimo League. The April finals just occurred, and it looks like Hero ended up winning over Patience 4-0. I believe we had Maynard casting this last night or the night before. So
or was it me?
Check it out.
Was it Maynard's voice was no, actually, sorry. Wait, hold on. What day is it?
You mean like today?
It's May 1st.
This thing that already happened. It was
never mind. This is Maynard. Sorry, abort. This is last week. I did one of them. Okay, I don't know what day it is anymore.
I think I hear I gotta go, guys.
Guys, Fear Dragon cast one of these, okay?
Yeah.
This regret overtook me for a number of show.
Wow.
So
I will say the semifinals were way better than the actual finals. Hero versus Cure was like actually super sick. And the finals was just like Hero stomping on Patience.
Well, I guess he hit his buildings in the right place. Korean PvP right now is not my favorite matchup. So you guys can check that out. And of course, the Patreon for Oli Moly is fantastic as well. Just great tournament. All right, the SC2 Blazing Series Season 1 has finally concluded. We've been reporting on this for a really long time. It was on the RAPiDCasting Taiwan channel. And Innovation ended up winning a very Zerg-dominated bracket, 4-0 over Solar in the finals. So if you want to check that out, check out the show notes, and you'll find the links, and you'll be able to watch that. Innovation just bash a bunch of nerds. All right, Kings of the North. This looks like something that you would cast, Robbie. Are you casting this?
I'm not casting this, but I should hopefully be casting the offline finals, assuming the timing and stuff works out. It's a really cool event. They've been doing this for like a few years now. It's more NA players, and it's generally pretty awesome. And whenever they have the offline finals, it usually is super duper hype. Gets like Neeb and Scarlet and everyone else out there.
I like the graphics that they have for this, where they've like transformed these guys into units and they're all like aggressively running forward. If I was in this tournament, they would have a picture of me and I'm standing like behind a bunch of sentries behind a Protoss wall and I look scared. But pretty cool. Check it out, guys. The King of the North by ES Champ. You can check it out on their website, eschamp.com. All right, the Pizza Pie Bi-Weekly. It's returning on May 5th. Yes, finally. So we don't have a new winner for you this week, but we know a bunch of the badass pizza winners they're waiting. Eric is on 2 pizzas.
Yeah.
And he's looking to win for the next 36 weeks to catch up to Starkiller. We will see if he can in 3 days. And that will be cast by Coltaren, of course, on his Twitch channel. All right, General Transmissions. In Depth, my show with No Regret, where we just analyze replays. We did the GSL finals this last time, and that was pretty fun going over that. So you can check it out, and you can learn all sorts of cool things from a Kodesh Zerg, like don't die, be more aggressive, kill the Adept, it's better than just dying, and if he's a banana head and goes double Stargate, he's dead.
That's great.
Yeah, check it out. We do that on Mondays at 1:30 p.m. KST. And it's on my YouTube. All right. Return of the Icy Far with Pig. Diversity Hire is this week's challenge. Make as many different units as possible. Do you remember a guy on the NA ladder called like Buki or something?
Yeah.
Jeff? Yeah. There was this guy in the NA ladder, this Terran player, and he did something he called the Buki build. First time I hit him, I definitely 100% I lost. I got wrecked. I was like, what is this? He literally, it was this challenge. It was he had one of everything. He'd be like a Banshee and a Viking and a Medevac. He'd have a siege tank, a Hellion. He'd have like a couple Marines and a Marauder and like some SCVs with it, and he'd attack you. And he'd say funny stuff when he attacked you. He'd be like the Buki build or something like that. I can't quite remember. It was a long time ago, but he would have crushed this one. You can't. It has all the counters within itself. If you overwhelm it with like just a type of unit, you're basically a cheeser anyways. So if you want to take part in this, go ahead. Diversity Hire, send your replays to pigseonblue95@gmail account. All right. The Africa World April Blitz, April 24th through 27th. I guess we already did this, actually. So that should be over. If you want to check out the VODs and figure out who won. Hey. Oh, wait, no. It says Trap defeated Cure 4-1 in the finals. Okay, I was going to say this is spoiler free. It's not. All right. Trap defeated Cure. You can check that out on Laughing Games channel on Africa TV. Okay, WCS Spring coming up. They have announced that there will be a Ukrainian cast casting it. Looks like Alex, the very popular commentator from that region, will be joined by White Raw and a few other guys. So you can check that out if you speak that language. Okay. I don't know how to like if you
huge
actually really
news for the Ukrainians in the chat. There will be a Ukrainian broadcast.
Yeah.
It's actually really interesting. The middle guy there, Olisor, used to cast League of Legends for their main league, and he does all the tournaments. And he does a lot of English language coverage for Ukrainian events, or at least he used to for that. So I'm hoping he does a little bit for this too.
Rapid, you try to say these Ukrainian commentators tend to share the workload a lot? They kind of
No, he actually moved over. I talked to him a bunch because he did the same transition I did. He like did a little bit of like the league and then moved straight back over to StarCraft, which is how he got into esports too.
Let me ask you something. If he's hired for league, do you think it's fair that they can all be hired for StarCraft as well? These commentators, they can all just kind of keep doing different.
Well, I think we all need to be game purists so that we can sleep at night.
You ever had a joke go so far, but your head blew your hair back? By the way, Rapid.
I mean, my hair is naturally coned back all the time, Jeff. So
very good.
That's never happened.
Do you have an affinity for the color red?
No, but I really like oranges for some reason.
Communist jokes.
Okay, all right, that's.
He's like, listen, sir.
I was born and raised in Texas.
The idea of communism makes me want to throw up the steak I had for lunch.
All right.
Nailed it.
White Rock, gonna be casting. Super sick. All right. General transmissions. We have Maynard made a video getting into StarCraft 2. Nice. Seems like if you're ever curious about StarCraft 2 and it seemed too scary to play or too confusing to follow, this video is for you. Breaks down StarCraft 2, watching StarCraft 2, and playing StarCraft 2, all in what looks to be about 10 minutes. So worth your time if you are watching the Pylon show, but you're afraid of playing or watching StarCraft.
Are they? Is it Pylon show is just your entry, just through Maynard though? Is all the scenes just Maynard? Wait for it.
Yeah. Yep.
Wait for it. No, that's not Maynard.
If he had made a video called "Getting into Maynard," I'd definitely watch that one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's like, it's on my YouTube and it's on Pornhub, so you guys can check it out.
Looks like a good video.
Right.
Good job, Maynard. Check it out, guys.
Yeah.
All right. And now for Harstom's content. I got to tell you, Harstom is so funny. This is the guy, as far as I'm concerned. Look at this. Guide. 98% of Zergs will hold this. 3 exclamation points. He knows the YouTube game. He's been watching the big YouTubers. And he's named this perfectly, this video. So I guess it's a build that some guy named Marjorie beat Lambo with on the ladder that's becoming popular. It looks like it has to do with Immortals and Zealots. Wow, who would have guessed? Check that out on Harstom's YouTube.
Can I just say,
also
Go ahead.
Well, I was going on to the next video.
Okay. Can someone get this? Cobra can't because he's doing production, but if somebody in the chat, you can't post it unless a moderator okays it. Maybe Mater knows this. Bling is making vegan health videos about food, and I need us to watch this on the Pylon show. Bling is a former StarCraft 2 professional from England. They're great videos, and it's good advice if you're looking for vegan food. I'm not trying to hate on that, but I'll tell you what, as a guy that knows Bling, he was not a big camera guy. Now he is. He is playing up the British accent, and it kills me every video. Like, Bling is like, he's very British, but in these videos, you'd think he's the goddamn king of England. It's insane. I love it so much. All right, man. You got your buses back. You speak. You smash in your face. You smash in your face a little bit. I'm like, yeah, there it is. Play the sound. Dan, if you thought you knew YouTube, wait until you watch this, dude. This is amazing. Got turned up. Do we have it, Cobra?
I can't hear it.
No, there's no sound. We can't hear it at all.
Yeah, the audio's not playing on the stream.
Okay, maybe later, if you want to prepare it later or something. Anyways, you guys should watch. It's really funny.
Well, maybe it's one of those things where the sound all got shut off.
No, it definitely could work. It's hard to put Cobra on the spot and then be like, play this video, and he has something going on. It's okay.
There's a copyright claim by the Queen of England for the voice.
Absolutely.
Okay. So Harstom also has a little show that he's making. 7K in 7
30
weeks.
grams of protein, 10 minutes to make, take the hang.
Okay.
Come on. Right, so to start with, hold up a minute. We need to go to the Unicorn store. And yes, that is actually a real thing. It might not have the same name where you are, but find your local health shop, as that's where you'll need to go for one of the ingredients for this meal. So what you want to get from here is your tempeh, and that's going to give the meal a nice bit of a protein kick to it. It tastes good,
People talk
and
like
it's going
that
to
in
fill
real
out your burger at the same time. Now, I know you might think you don't have a health shop near you, but trust me, give it a quick Google, and you will be able to find one.
I don't remember Bling's accent being
I just moved to a new city, and I found one 10 minutes away, so they definitely are there. You just need to go out and look for them. So now that you're ready to start, you want to grab your pan and put it on a medium heat. Now, as this meal's already got enough fat in it, I'm not going to add any extra calories by using oil.
All right, we get the
you can
idea.
if you want
It's
to,
good.
but it's definitely not needed.
It's good advice.
Either way, for this
Congrats,
meal, the ingredients you're going to be...
Bling. That's great.
Another StarCraft guy out there doing something different, man.
Yeah. All right. Moving forward with Hearthstone's content. The Protoss that still plays StarCraft. He has this show, 7K in 7 weeks. He's trying to get to 7K on the ladder. It's a noble pursuit when Cyril's gobbling up all the points. And he has Risky on this week, coaching him for the first time. So kind of a cool idea. He's really kind of taking it serious, trying to get himself to be as good as he can be. And always appreciate Hearthstone. He's great.
Yeah.
So check that out. All right. There's also the Swan Machined bundle. We keep talking about this. You can get Jeff's face as an actual emote within the game. So definitely worth doing. Get it with Twitch Prime. Go ahead and do it. And then, of course, the Mr. Shang announcer pack. I just bought this morning. I cannot wait to try it out. This week in Brood War, the STPL, it has semifinal A on Wednesday, May the 1st, and the B will be on Friday, May the 3rd. So I guess the other one already happened, and the May the 3rd is about to occur. Are you going to be casting that, Rapid?
I literally just cast it right before this show. So yeah, they had IRK versus Seoul. IRK is like a combo European team, and Seoul is one of the best South Korean / Peruvian clans. And they put all of the best Korean. They have like the best Peruvian Terran players, and also everybody who's good in South Korea, basically. So the lineup for the Korean team was IRK has DeWalt on it, so he's like their main player. But Seoul had Scan, Zealot, Spire, and YSC, who's an ex-pro player from Samsung. So basically, they just played like their most badass people and like totally bopped IRK there. And then the other one is basically the two best North American clans. Well, I guess they have some European players in there too. But basically, this is the semifinals of round 4, which is the last round of the I guess season, and then after that there's the playoffs, and it's got a $1,000+ prize pool for Brood War Team League. It's kind of the biggest thing out there. So yeah, it's on Kix's Twitch channel, Kix SD, and it took a little bit of a break. So if you watched it and then you stopped watching it, it's back now.
Very cool.
Yes. All right, so check that out, guys. We also have the Caster Muse Star League Season 1. It's almost over. It has the finals coming up on May 7th with Rush versus Soma. So it looks like there were some really good matches in there, a lot of close ones. And, you know, a couple players you don't expect to make it to the finals in such a stacked tournament, but it kind of shows there's a lot of rising talent right now within the Brood War scene. You can check that out. Just go into the show notes and you can find his YouTube. It's pretty easy to navigate. He has them labeled pretty well.
Nice.
Okay. Yes, the Let's Go Cup. This is kind of something that TY is running with Sugo as a sponsor, and it's just kind of a competitive tournament for non-Korean foreigner players until BSL comes back. So you can check that out. They have a thread on Team Liquid. That's probably the easiest place to go and find all the signups, or you can go in our show notes, of course. They also have a Discord server. All right, the Undermine Podcast, episode number 20. They have the Ladabot guy and Byte Keeper talking about OpenAI's Dota victory and micro RTS. So this is the makingcomputerdothings.com podcast where they talk about all the different AI stuff going on. Some very cool stuff there. If you're really interested in that AI, definitely check out their podcast. Also, this week in Awesome, we have a ridiculously cool thing. Starcraft Remastered. They're like releasing a special box set of it, and they're doing voice packs for some of the most legendary Korean commentators. These are like 3 of the really big old legends that you see there. So that's really super cool. It'll probably only, like the box, I'm certain will only be available in South Korea. So I'm going to get one. The rest of you aren't. Maybe Rapid will. But yeah. Yeah.
It's giveaway
time. Yes. So the box copy is only available from eMart, which is a big Korean it's like supermarket / just like shop store out here.
That's where I get my groceries.
But you can buy it through their online page, I believe, although it's not up for sale on there yet because it hasn't been announced. There's a big special event that's going on today where if you're one of the first 500 people in line, they give you a signed copy from the casters and a huge mouse mat that's also signed. And I'm sure you'll see those show up on eBay pretty soon.
Yeah, just check out ebay.com/RAPiDCasting.
I wasn't going to say
it. Got 'em.
All right. I'm pretty sure you can buy just the voice pack, though, to add into your game online. I'm pretty sure that's going to be the case.
$5 a piece or $15 for all three. And you get a bunch of cosmetics and stuff.
Yeah, super cool. It's cool that they're actually doing some of these things for Starcraft Remastered now. Hope to see more of that. All right. Also, this week in Awesome, we have some stuff about some books. I didn't read this already, but it seems like it's nothing new. It's like books from 2007. This trilogy acts as a link between StarCraft and its sequel, StarCraft 2. So hopefully within this series, they get to explain how Jim Raynor goes from hating Kerrigan to being in love with her. Maybe someone can read that and let us know.
Loves a confusing, winding journey.
Yeah. That is the end of this week in StarCraft.
Oh. Well done, Dan.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you to Alison for putting that together, of course, and the various other people that make everything possible, including our mothers. It's coming up, Mother's Day. Make sure to thank your moms, okay?
That's true. That is coming right up.
May 12th. Don't let it go by without thanking your moms. All right. So this is where we show off the graphic of what I just alluded to earlier, but this is the more timely place to put it. We're going to have Jim Rising take on JYP. I literally made a random offhand comment during one of the episodes, and someone then tweeted it, and JYP was like, yeah! And Jim Rising was like, fuck yeah!
JYP came up to me about it. He was like, Jeff thinks that this can happen? No. And yeah, he's excited. He's excited to play. He thinks that he'll win it easily.
Just not so excited to make it happen today, but yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I was pleasantly surprised because the hard part about StarCraft Online, you guys, is that JOP's in Korea and Jim Rising's in Mexico for the most part. So, like, to get those guys to play, it's kind of frustrating for players that care about how they play. But they are both open to it. They're both down, so we will schedule it. And then Dan and I will commentate that best of 5, and we'll take some of that money that people have been contributing towards Match Arena, and we'll pay out these guys. We'll give them, a first and second place. Nothing super amazing, but just a nice way to put some money in the pockets of people that play StarCraft and put on a show for you guys as a way of thanks.
And I wanted to just check for the record. Do you think Jim Rising's going to beat JYP?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's going to make the cast a lot more fun because I'm going to rub it in so hard.
I think it's a dangerous game to play where you make a prediction, and if you get it right or wrong, you rub the other person about it, right, Dan? When we get to the GSL, we talk about how Morrow didn't at all advance out of his group. One episode after you talked about how he's going to win the GSL and nobody can stop him, right? Wouldn't that be kind of weird to do that?
I don't remember that ever happening.
We have it recorded literally as some service that we provide to 422 people that support the show. So it'd be a weird time to double down on that. But I'll tell you what. As an American living in Korea, you have that right. Okay, you can do that. So I await eagerly. Right. Anyways, next up, we have a little bit of a funny news. This is a nice, pleasant thing. I'll let Ravi kind of talk a little bit about this. You and the gang were doing some WCS commentary, and we had one Idreling taking on Neeb. But Idreling was not just in the match, was he, Ravi?
No, he was also in the Twitch chat. So in the series before he played, Twitch chat was moving pretty fast. So he said in chat before his match versus Neeb, Twitch chat is moving so fast, so no one will see me saying that I'm going to link all in Neeb in game number 1 and Nightingale him in all the other games. And then he literally did exactly that, and he beat Neeb. So
yeah.
Is Idreling Volts?
It's Volts, aka Cicada, aka Ace, aka Enza Danino, aka Idreling, aka like 2 or 3 others that I'm forgetting.
I'm just making sure. It's hard to keep track.
Yeah, it's a few names.
He's a bit of a memer, that one, but that's pretty cool. I mean, it's funny, right? Like, there's nothing. We're not going to make this into a 45-minute section. I don't have a rant. It's just if someone saw that and it blew up and then got to the match, maybe he does it, maybe he doesn't. But it's a little bit of mind games, and it ended up working. That's the best part. Is he called a shot and he got it.
I think
the best. Go ahead.
I was gonna just say, like, the one other thing that I really appreciate about him, because he is a memer, is that the first thing he tweets afterwards was, oh god, he had like 2 great tweets about it. I'm trying to like find the first tweet, but I can't remember it. But then right after he lost in the rematch, and he was like, "Well, I had that coming," kind of. So he had really good humor about everything.
Yeah. The best part is before the first time that they played, when everybody are making these Maru-esque predictions about how Neeb's gonna smash this guy, Nathanius like double triples down on how unfair a matchup this is gonna be, and then Neeb, loses that series, and the astonished look on everybody's faces after that was pretty priceless. Also, I liked your suggestion that Idra stood for "I don't recall a Ling," Ravi. I appreciated that one.
I'm glad someone liked that. Also, I found the tweet. It was right after he beat Neeb, because this is another thing that didn't get talked about in the broadcast. The games, there was like a bit of extra delay, so they had to they extended the timer on the countdown because Neeb was actually laddering on EU right before the match. So really afterwards, after he beats Neeb, Idra like, Neeb's been playing too much on EU. It's just like. And then afterwards, he quote retweets that exact same tweet and just says, "Moments captured before a disaster."
Yeah.
When he
That's some good style.
Yeah, I like it.
How seriously is he actually taking StarCraft right now? Because I remember there was like a moment where he's getting really frustrated that he wasn't making progress, and he's like, I'm just going hardcore now and getting off all social media, and no, specifically Idra actually.
So he was off social media until he renamed to Idra. He just didn't have any like Twitter or anything. He was still on Reddit and stuff, from what I understand.
Wait, Boltz had a Twitter.
He
did, but I think he wasn't using it.
He took it down for like half a year to a year. I don't know. He was kind of weird, because it's just like weird whenever an NA player says they're going to take the game super seriously, because it's like taking the game super seriously means you're like spending a little more time that you're not spending in school or at your job and stuff doing things. So it means like, oh, I'm going to spend like 4.5 hours a day instead of like 2 hours a day on StarCraft.
Wow. Yeah, maybe. Some of these guys take it pretty serious.
Yeah, no, it matters who. Like, Estrella's taking it pretty serious right now.
Estrella is actually full-time right now, though, because he graduated. Yeah.
Puck plays a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, that was something funny that happened during that. We just thought we'd bring it to your guys' attention. We can go on to the next topic here. See what it is? There it is. Okay, so WCS Challenger results. I think we go right back over to Mr. Ravi. I wasn't there. I was at a Warhammer tournament. You guys did a great job, I assume. But what happened?
Thank you, Jeff.
What happened with the WCS results?
I think the biggest thing that was worth talking about was the whole Idra result, even though he still got knocked out in the end. It was good time. We had, I think it was, what was it? It was like a couple of Terrans advancing, actually. That was the other notable thing, especially from Europe. We had a fair number of Terrans advancing, despite the fact that Terrans are really struggling in Korea right now, and Protoss are really dominating, like kind of the opposite in WCSEU right now.
By struggling, do you mean winning and getting to the finals of every tournament, or something else?
The most recent stuff going on, I would say, right?
Oh, you're talking about like the GSL results from like 2 days?
Yeah, or like super tournament.
Where Gumio got out of his
Everyone
group.
was talking about that.
Well,
yeah.
MK
Gumio made out of his group without making any liberators. That part seems like a struggle.
Well, fair enough. Euthermal and Soul advancing out was pretty cool. Hero Marine also advancing out, and then Drogo making it out alongside him.
Oh yeah, that is a lot of things.
Matt, this is WCS winner, my man. I'm showing right now.
Yeah.
But that.
Here we go.
Nice little trip down memory lane.
The Terrans you were talking about getting out are like Euthermal and Soul, right?
Euthermal, Soul, and Hero Marine.
Oh, Hero Marine. Yeah.
And I would say if I had to pick my favorite match of the tournament, it was definitely Rob versus Future, because that was a proper NA meme fest. That was great. Go watch that series.
There is a chance
that was like the
Cobra's
elimination
fallen out
match, right?
No, the elimination match was between Silky and Future, I think. Yeah. Silky and Future. Rob had a bit of a rough run because he got Masa and then Future.
No pun intended, right? A rough run.
Got him.
That's a Group B joke, but yes, I'll take it.
Still counts. We take those.
Well, what are you thinking looking at the brackets now, as you've actually casted all these games? Who's looking hot to make some upsets here?
For Europe, I always have like hype for Seoul, but he's facing Cyril first round, so never mind. I think I'd be pretty happy if Seoul was able to take like a game or two off of Cyril, because Cyril looks a lot more beatable these days than he used to.
Well, you're talking about the EU bracket, right?
Huh?
You're talking about the EU bracket right now?
Yeah, EU bracket. And then I think so. Then there's Euthermal versus Rainer. I'll just say it out loud until Cobra gets them. Hero Marine versus a Laser, and then Showtime versus Drogo is basically the bracket. I always want a Laser to do better, and I know he kind of had a little bit of a tough time for a bit, so I'm kind of hoping for him. And then Showtime looks super on point. Any doubts that Showtime you have about Showtime from like previous events or like seasons and stuff, or WCS Winter, they're gone for me at least. Showtime looks really good.
Any doubts?
Yeah, 4-0 that group.
Has a good weekend. All of a sudden, all your doubts are gone.
97%.
Yeah,
the doubts. I'm not shoe eating, sure.
Rainer Euthermal is sick as it can possibly get. Euthermal has been tearing it up, and Rainer is, of course, as well. Which could set up Cyril versus Rainer as the semifinal.
Ooh,
that wouldn't even be the finals. Jeez.
And that's actually coming up this weekend. Are you guys casting it, or?
I am flying out in 2 days for that.
Everybody but me.
Yeah, Saturday and Sunday.
Jeff, are you going?
Nope.
Do you get a weekend home?
No, I'm going to, well, kind of. I'm going to go see family in Utah.
Oh, okay. So still getting on an airplane. Gotcha.
Yeah, of course. What am I going to do? Not fly somewhere?
No,
that's really exciting. And do check it out this coming weekend. That's the whole... Is it the whole... Well, it's the final online challenger, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's just the entire rest of the bracket. And on NA side, just really quickly, I'm really looking forward to Estrella's games, but I'm like one of the biggest Estrella fanboys out there right now. So
yeah, he made a fan out of me with how just funny he was.
For me, I don't understand how Pili keeps like disappearing from StarCraft, coming back and qualifying for these tournaments. And then he makes these meme tweets about like, wonder if I can win some free money in WCS this year. And then he just qualifies over and over again. Like, I don't get it, but he's just always back here. And playing Masa is not an unwinnable game, even though it should be kind of hard. At least I just assume that. But I still am just totally baffled every time I see this guy get super deep in there.
I can explain it a little bit because I've talked with him. I used to talk a lot with Pili, and he is actually one of those like just supernatural talent guys. He, even when he was really active, he like wouldn't play that much. He just like watch StarCraft and be like, oh yeah, that looks cool, that build, and then you just do it, and you do it really well. It's just, I think he's just one of those guys.
All right. Let's dial it back a little bit, though. When we say he does it really well, we mean on the NA week of the tournament, he qualifies and gets smashed by someone that actually practices and plays hard. So it's cool, but let's not give it too much attention because it gets weird. We're like, wow, it's so amazing. He beat Ruff.
Okay.
Well, okay, come on, Jeff. Am I not allowed to use like good or great?
I don't.
Classic's gonna do something better.
I don't glorify. It's like, it's so cool. He doesn't practice and he talks about how StarCraft's dead and he plays these other games and he qualifies anyways. Like, yeah, it's so sick, dude. Oh my god, and he body built, but he like, oh wow, like, no man. I think it's silly. Like, it's fine, whatever. He makes money, but like, he's gonna get demolished by Masa, and that's what happens every time he qualifies.
I don't think he thinks he's gonna beat Masa.
No, I think the most exciting thing to see is if TLO, if you commentate TLO running this bracket and winning Fear Dragon. Are you
Ooh.
going to take back the bad things you said about Europe?
Why do you hate
No.
Europe so much?
Whoa,
I'm glad you brought this
Dan,
up because
you're the other guy.
I'm gonna tell you actually something great right here. All right. So the way that the caster rotation works is that for some reason they're always just like, okay, Fear Dragon, you're always casting the first 2 series, no matter what. So even though like sometimes there's like a series in NA that I want to do, it's like, nope, you're doing the first 2 series. Jeff is also never allowed to host, which is another fun thing.
I know.
But I'm gonna do the first 2 series, and then I'm on break for TLO's round of 8 series. Then I do the next round of 8 match in the first semifinals. And then even if TLO wins, I'm on break for the semis. So TLO, I will not have to cast him unless he makes to the grand finals because I hate Europe so much.
Oh,
There you go.
well, he will make the grand finals.
Glad that you fixed that up for yourself.
That's a cool match, though. Estrella versus TLO.
Yeah.
No, that's really good.
By the way, not hating. I don't dislike Pili. I just sometimes being known for hating on StarCraft and not practicing and qualifying anyways is like, come on, it bothers me a little bit.
Yeah.
WCS was supposed to be celebrating these young bucks qualifying and putting in work, and we're like, yeah, but Pili doesn't give a shit, and he still gets money. Like, nah, all right, all right, it'll be good. I'm excited about that. The European bracket is really sick. The NA one is Puck versus Neve really early. That's too bad.
I'm kind of excited to watch how Estrella does and how TLO does.
Yeah.
I expect Neve to take it,
I think there are 2 like hype quarterfinal matches or 3 hype quarterfinal matches for NA at least. Like Jon Snow Silky is really cool because those guys are really similar in a lot of. What's that look, Jeff?
Come on, this is a really cool semifinal match here.
I am excited for it.
Yeah, Silky Jon Snow.
You know, it's the start. You know what, Jeff? Maybe
Jeff is one of these ZVZ haters.
If you listen to the cast, I'll tell you why it's so exciting. Okay.
All right. What do you got? That's why you're on
You
the
gotta
show.
listen to the cast.
No, you gotta listen.
You can't use it now.
You gotta tune in.
Oh my god,
Got him.
you guys are funny. No, yeah. Well, even if they're not the worst matchups, it's just you look at the European bracket and you're like, that's Raynor versus Thermal. That's actually like the grand final of a very big tournament. And then you also have Silky versus Jon Snow. Man. Does it compare?
It could be the grand finals of a Cheesadelphia.
It isn't though.
It's a little bit different.
Not even
It's
that.
a little bit different.
Yeah.
It's, you know what, Jeff? Here's the thing.
I'm a hater.
Europe, you're gonna get like. Actually, no, I can't say this anymore after some of the recent stuff that happened in Europe. I was gonna say Europe, you'll get like the nice, clean, normal games, but then I cut back to like Namshar doing a 2-base all-in for 20 minutes versus Petit Drogo.
That was that Petit
Stormhost.
Drogo tweet was actually so funny because
That was great.
It was exactly that. It
very
was
on
like
the mark.
me hating on the NA bracket, then also me is I think how it was worded or whatever. It was just
Mhm.
that was pretty funny.
And it just has a photo of his game versus Namshar.
They got good humor. Okay, well I think that does it. So that'll be this next weekend. Make sure and check that out. It starts Friday, right? Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday?
Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday,
It's
Sunday. There you go.
I think it's Saturday Europe and then Sunday NA. Usually Saturday begins like fairly early on for NA.
Yeah, but still worth watching. Good show. Okay, next topic. What do we got? I think it's GSL results. Yes, there were some pretty big upsets. I alluded to this earlier. Apologies if you're that person that waits until the middle of the week to then watch a StarCraft 2 talk show and not want to hear results, but here we are. The king is dead.
Yeah. Maru is already out in the round of 32.
There will not be a fifth in a row.
Yeah, it's I mean, he got a little bit unlucky on the group draw because it is a seeded thing. Every player is divided into tiers 1 through 4. And the champion and runner-up get to choose who they play against first. So he chose Armani, right? Obviously, that was easy. Armani got 4-0'd. Looked a little bit out of place in the group. But Innovation, because the thing is he won WESG, right? So he's still in great shape, but like he doesn't have a lot of points right now in Korea because he didn't do well. And so he was actually ranked down into a tier 3.
Wow.
Right? So he's the tier 3 for this group. You're right. It's supposed to be like the tier 1 and 2 are pretty clearly going to get through. But yeah, Mr. Tier 3 Innovation comes in and kind of screws things up along with Patience. who's like made to screw things up.
I think I didn't say it, and I know that means I have 0 credit because I really think I didn't say it. But I actually, when we were talking about this last week, I thought patience was going to be a problem. I'm not even kidding you.
Yeah.
When he gets to prepare and he has no soul. Like he will just absolutely like when you think someone won't do that thing, he'll do it. And not only will he do it, he's been practicing it for 7 days in a row, nonstop. It's when it gets more, I don't know, he can get outclassed pretty quick. And I think this group probably looked at patience and were like, well, no, I'm not worried about that. And that's when he gets you.
Yeah. You know, I was saying that going in that I'm like, I don't know if Maru's going to get out of here because like the people that are scary for Maru are like TY, Innovation, SOS, and Patience, because Patience is exactly what you said. He has no soul.
Yeah.
He just like he does something. He won't be rattled. He could be playing for the fate of the earth when aliens come down. And he would just do his build and try to kill you, and maybe he loses, and he just kind of smiles and unplugs his keyboard, and then the earth explodes. But like it's not as if he panics and stuff. He does his thing. Did you see the game with all the proxies, Jeff, that Patience did?
No, I didn't get to watch.
He did Proxy Gate into Proxy Stargate into a different location, Proxy Twilight and Dark Shrine. Like that's the type of games that he was bringing. And that was not PvP. That was
you know what PvP. Though, and this is what I don't know. As a fan of the game and as a watcher of these series, it obviously sucks. And there's like a lot of like, Protoss. And there's a lot of Protoss hate going on. Whatever. But if you're Patience and you're facing Innovation tomorrow, what are you gonna do? What are you supposed to do? Like take it to the macro? You know, like defend against all of their harass? No, you gotta do something weird, some kind of weird counterpunch, cheesy thing, and that's how you get your win. And that's how he did it. Comes out first in the group. That's pretty impressive. I definitely think he'll get absolutely demolished later. Patience seems to just be that kind of flickering flame that can like burn anybody, but just later gets snuffed out. And Innovation, it was good to see him look like an absolute monster. But that's really interesting stuff. Like Maru actually won 4 in a row, you guys, and that's unprecedented. And I'm going to go as far as to say we'll probably never have that again.
Yeah,
nobody's going to win 4 in a row. It's amazing, but it comes to an end.
Patience going to do for Protoss what Maru did for Terran, where everyone just starts proxying everything now? Did Patience literally just Terran the most Terran player around?
Well, Korean Protoss is already doing a lot of proxy. I mean, in the PvT matchup, I guess, there'd probably be a little bit more.
PvP is all the proxies right now, but
Korean Protoss, my friend. Korean Protoss.
I will say that it's pretty interesting, at least right now, because we had so much of Maru proxying that, you know, maybe it's poetic justice, but also that there's this weird sort of, I don't know, ebb and flow for RTS games where people like cheese initially and then there's more macro play. But right now it's just people figuring out, you know, I think mostly where to put the buildings, and Patience is, you know, apparently pretty good at that.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're definitely entering a very cheesy era right now. I think we're really right in the middle of it, actually, where like every Protoss game against every race right now, everyone's getting glaives. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, oh, okay, I guess we're back to this. That's interesting. But it was a good group overall. It was actually like a fun group. And I want to mention the TVT series between Maru and Innovation. That final series was really good. And the last game, because it went to 3 games, oh my God. Maru got like so far behind and fought ridiculously. It was like a really good series.
I like it.
Yeah. And then, of course, we had 3 days. So we had Group B, where Impact just smashed out of his group. And by the way, Trust smashed Gumiho in their first series. Gumiho played weird, man. He's like playing against gateway units in Storm. And he's like, I'm not going above Widow Mine Tech. Not doing it. I'm like, but I raised my... Gumiho is like, yes, you, the dumb caster. I heard Liberators are good. No, shut up and sit down. But he did end up getting through the group, so good for Gumiho.
Got the revenge match.
Yeah, and both the Protosses died there.
Well, specifically
Zest in last place.
Zest, for whatever reason, when you see him lose in a group like this, you're kind of always like, yeah, okay, Zest. But keep in mind, this is a guy that's like in the round of 4 in every single tournament. Like, he just does really well, but blank.
He's like the most successful GSL Protoss ever with 2 wins and a 2nd place.
Yeah.
That's like the same as MC. And yeah, he's the #1 Protoss on the Korean ladder right now too. Like he's in good shape. he always loses to Impact, and then he lost to Gumiho, which is no shame, you know?
Zest, one of the rare players that can lose 0-4 and still be in good shape.
Yeah.
And then, of course, last night we had Group C. It wasn't that good of a night of games, to be perfectly honest. Like, there was some cool stuff. Hurricane is using like a lot of old builds. He's going like Blink +1 with sentries, and where the force fields run out, he lets the sentries die, taking damage, and just like really tries to kill you right there. And he had a cool Glaives armor build, and he had some interesting immortal builds, and like he played really coolly. So I was like happy to see him do well.
Did you ever figure out what the armor build was?
No, I have no idea yet. I get home at like midnight and go to sleep.
I went into a unit tester and I like could not figure out how armor helps adepts versus lings, roaches, or anything.
Well, I definitely know how it helps against lings. Like if it's a lot of lings, that just once they get through the shields, it reduces it by 20% the damage, right? So that's like that's statistically good, whereas the +1 attack does nothing against lings, right?
Yeah,
because they 2-shot lings no matter what. So I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, Hurricane was busting out cool stuff, and I'm not sure what's going to catch on and what's not from him, but he's really starting to kind of, I don't know, like level up and show this skill that we've heard that he's had in the past, but has never been able to do, which is cool. Whereas True, it was the worst night I've ever seen for him.
And that's bad.
It was really, I felt really bad because I'm actually like a True fan. Like I really like his play when he's on, and it was so the opposite of on. It was just, I don't even know what to say about it, but it was the worst series I've seen from him ever.
Wow.
Both of them.
Yeah. Well, it can happen. You have one of those nights.
Yeah.
It's also that live by the sword, die by the sword when you're that kind of cheesy, super aggressive player. Like 2 or 3 of them just get put down, and you can get into a weird mental tailspin.
Yeah, that seems like what it was. He got so wrecked by Classic, then his ZVZ was like, it can't even be described. He kept running into banelings with huge amounts of lings and stuff, and it's like, come on.
I don't want to speculate too much, but I know at least when he was in NA, there was like a big thing that True just wouldn't be playing or practicing much StarCraft. I'm hoping that that's not the case, and like he's in Korea and he's trying super hard and everything. But I know he would get distracted sometimes with things. So hopefully it's just like an off day or something.
Yeah, we don't know. I understand what you're saying, but True gets stereotyped a little bit too much too sometimes, I think, because he's kind of like a fun-loving, goofy guy, and like when he does well, everybody's like, "Oh, I don't know, I'm just trying out there." It's kind of hard because then when he loses, people are like, I think you're a doofus. And it's like, no, he's not a doofus. Not all the time.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
I will say that all the upsets make me look at the next group, which is Dear, Creator, Alive, and Sue. And I just take my prediction, I turn it completely upside down, and I'm like, wow, sick. I'm so happy for Creator to make it out of this group. So I don't know. Everything's backwards this season.
Yeah. Kind of wild. But I guess that, they keep playing the song "It's My Turn Now" at the beginning. It's true. Someone else is going to win the GSL, so that's exciting at least.
I hope Alive shows up. Alive is a real hit or miss player. When he plays really, really well, he is like way, way, way up there. But nobody gives him credit for being one of the absolute best, because the following weekend he'll have a performance where you're like, what was that? What did you just do?
He'll just instantly die, and he'll be like, oh.
What just happened? You're doing like a 3 Marine drop, and you were microing it while you died at home. It's like, what's going on? Because Alive's always dropping forever. Okay, well, that's GSL. The next night is coming up here. That's going to be Friday, right?
Saturday, actually.
No, Saturday for you.
Friday.
Saturday for you,
That's right.
and the 6 other people from Korea that watch the Pylon show at various different times. No, it's Friday for us at the very decent time, actually. It's the one that I always watch every week. That'll be good.
Yeah, it's a good group. Should be fun.
And Australians. Sorry, Maynard. You're right. No, there's actually a lot of Australians that watch. You're right. Apologize. Love my Australians. Okay, next topic. What do we got? I think it's clips.
Next is a segment, top 5 clips of the week, and then we'll go into our roundtable.
Top 5 clips of the week, and we got the roundtable topics.
Ooh, this is our first time with this. I'm excited.
Yes, first time not introducing it. I think I've heard of these. I hear of all of these, but I'm excited because actually. Okay, so this is called Vibe Drawing Nightistick. Did he actually not know? Is that what this is?
He drew it and then realized what he drew afterwards. He was like, nope. And then he kept drawing balls and couldn't stop drawing balls.
Did he know or did he actually not know? You guys decide. This sounds really quiet, by the way, Cobra. Inaudible, actually. Here we go.
Like, if you have a nidus, let me show you. Like, let's fucking pull paint out again, okay? Good old trusty paint. If you have a nidus worm, okay? If you got a nidus worm right here, okay?
Oh, he knew. There's no way.
You got a nidus worm. Alright, you got a nidus. And now, you force field, alright? Well, this is gonna be up to scale.
Yeah, there's no way.
The disruptor shots get cloaked? Does anyone know? We're about to find out. So I think we might see invisible balls reveal themselves at the last possible minute. Just like the specter of someone who's suddenly been given the superpower to turn invisible. You know they'd start doing some silent teabags. Oh, drops the scan, drops the scan, drops the scan, drops the scan. You gotta focus again. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Instant rewind. Instant rewind. I'm sorry, guys. We've got to do it. We've got to do it. We've got to do it. Instant rewind. Oh my god. He focus fires the first one, and then he panic move commands rather than clicking. Oh my god.
So I think Pig made a show to just laugh at bad StarCraft players, right? I like it. The segment's especially good if you guys remain completely quiet the entire time, by the way.
Well, I'm trying to listen to what they say, right?
Yeah, it's delayed.
And then I hear myself talking. I'm like, I'm going crazy. Ah!
Yeah.
This one's good. I like this.
O Gaming has like the sickest production
That's
now.
good
They're
production.
so good.
That's good production. Wow. Are you guys still there?
Yeah. So this
Okay.
I have brain latency because it's like this is supposed to be the top 5 clips. This clip has 7 views. Is StarCraft that dead? Did we die?
It's a great clip, though.
These are best clips, not necessarily top.
Best clips, not top clips. Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
Top picks
Yeah,
by
we don't
us, I
want top.
guess.
This is one of the worst supply blocks I've ever seen.
Oh, good catch. I wasn't
62
looking.
of 62 for 400 years. Tasteless. Most trees are born and die before the supply block ends. I can't even, what I'm looking at, Tasteless.
Well, here's what's funny, too. He supply blocked out his observer.
Yes!
So he couldn't actually
couldn't
go
do
up
his
on the high
flank
ground.
move.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
For 400 years!
Basically, trust.
His grandfather was supply blocked, and only just now, when Trust is 22 years old, did he get that observer out that his grandfather started.
I feel as though Trust
Oh my god!
loaded his musket and put on his triangle hat. And
This is one of the worst supply blocks I've ever seen.
oh,
What am I? All right,
That was a good clip right there. Yeah.
Is the guitar story one of these clips?
It's too long for a clip. It needs to be like a actual highlight
It's a
video.
sequence of clips.
One day.
Yeah.
What do you call a group of clips?
A gaggle.
Rapid knows this.
A gaggle of clips.
Is it a gaggle?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it just be a whole? Because clips are in and of themselves segments of things.
It's called a haircut because that's what you get when you.
A whole
no
of
good at-
clips. I like that.
Yeah, nailed it.
Ooh, montage. That's a good answer. Okay. Well, that was the top clips. Thank you, Dan, for being funny. And Vibe for being a guy who just
Yeah.
pretend not to know when they draw a dick. I like it. It's good. Okay, so now we're going to go into the round table topics. And we've got a couple here. We always ask our guests if they want to talk about anything. And Robbie brought a couple on here, so...
I brought one.
You brought one, and then there is a guess. Well, these are round table topics. Did somebody else bring it? Did you? Anyways, I'll just read this
Alexander
off.
added one of those that Fear
Alexander
Dragon was just
added-
joking about.
Okay.
Fear Dragon mentioned it. She took it seriously.
Very good.
I told her to.
I'll just read these out loud. I'll just be
Do it.
Thoughts on the upcoming BlizzCon changes.
Yeah, so okay, they announced BlizzCon for StarCraft 2 is going to be the first day. It's going to be back in the big arena that Overwatch had taken over.
Yeah.
But it's the entire round of 8 up will be one day at BlizzCon, so it's obviously quite a bit on the first day. And they said that like, you know, that pre-week thing that we normally do in, what is it called, Blizzard Arena or something? They said it's not going to be exactly that.
Yeah.
It's going to be something else, but they haven't announced what it is.
Yeah, something italics quite different. So I don't know what that's talking about, but unless it's like being held on like an oil rig in the ocean, I don't know how different they can get. We'll see.
Yeah. A little bit. I thought the community received this about as well as you can. It's not bad news. It's interesting. It makes a lot of sense for production. If you cut an entire day out of production, that's a lot of your costs going out. So to still have StarCraft on a big major stage and be at BlizzCon and have that world final, that's great for me.
Yeah.
It is I don't know. It'll be interesting to see the impact because it was kind of cool to have that day with Cyril's historic victory and some of the big moments we've had in the past. That day to do that was a big deal. I think with the longer singular broadcast, you actually might see more viewership, which is the kind of funny thing because a lot of times, as long as you start early and it doesn't get to be too terrible of an hour for Europe, which it probably will be no matter what because it's Europe, you're going to see more people kind of tune in and stuff like that. So that could be a desired effect that happens here. I'd love to hear that and see that.
That's one thing I'm not feeling super great about in terms of scheduling is it's going to be 4 matches and then 2 semifinals and then a final all in one day. Whereas like I feel like we actually took up most of the day on just the quarterfinals. And then usually day 1, there'd be like a show match or something. So it's like, does removing the show match and maybe starting a little bit earlier, is that enough time to add in 3 more matches? Like, I don't know how that works out schedule wise.
7 matches is a pretty normal broadcast day, Robbie.
Huh?
Like most tournaments do 7 matches in one day.
I think, well, BlizzCon like opens at a certain time and then closes at a certain time, right? But I think it will fit. I think that's not going to be too big of a problem. Like maybe everything gets pushed together a little bit, shorter couch segments, less videos. I don't know if they're making signature series this year, but you know, these are places where you're gaining minutes and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it will all fit in if you just start it and then go right through.
It's definitely different. You're not wrong entirely, Robbie. Like your concern is that it's going to be a long broadcast day, and it is, right? There's no way around that. That'll be an 11 or 12 hour broadcast day. So there will be ebb and flow of time zones that are like, this is fantastic. And they'll be like, wait a second, the finals are going to go live at like 4 a.m. my time? Fuck. So that's just going to happen. Whereas if you do, the shorter days, you can kind of target that. You can start the finals at noon, which is late at night in Europe, but still human times. Whereas it's very likely going to be at an incredibly bad time for Europe and Asia and stuff like that. But
I also look at this from like a tournament organizer perspective, and I think, okay, how many BlizzCons have we had technical issues and things have just gotten delayed by an extra 30, 45 minutes or something for a match? I mean, there's like a couple of years ago, there was a BlizzCon which was really bad. We had like 2 hours of delays. Like imagine that with a one-day tournament where there is no extra time padding for like show matches and stuff at the end. Like it's cutting it really close.
Yeah.
I feel that's what I'm worried about.
So I don't disagree with you, and this is I've made this excuse in the past. And I feel kind of bad about it, but the kind of cop out answer is it's not like this was like a strategic decision. This is a budget thing, right? So whenever we're like, I'm worried about time, they'll be like, oh, we are too. and we'll be like, cool, because what's the alternative? They'll be like, that we don't do it, right? So if it's
Yeah.
this versus, I think it'd be better if you spread it out over 5 days and give everything its due time. Yeah, well, that was an option. So it's tough, right?
Totally.
I will say I'm also like when you consider that maybe time constraints are going to be an issue. I think the biggest thing I'm going to miss honestly is Mark Olberts was the big guy organizing all of that. Like this is going to be the first one without that, so it obviously sets the tone a little bit differently.
Yeah.
There are some redeeming qualities about having just one day. Like you said, Jeff, the viewership might actually go up. It's like a very long stream, and you're literally like sometimes if you tune in on day one, you watch some, maybe you don't watch the whole thing, and then like you got to remember and turn in 2 days in a row. Whereas this is like, oh, do you want to see the 8 best players in the world duke it out and just get a world champion? Yeah, it's today. Check it out. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I think for more casual viewers, this is actually probably better.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Like if you have one day to have a StarCraft party with like chips and invite people over, and just like, okay, well, it's the day.
Yeah.
That's the silver lining. I think that's the potential advantage of this. And again, not to say what I said to cut off Ravi or something like that. It's definitely a realistic. Yeah, if there's tech problems and shit like that, oh my god, you've got no wiggle room. But if you can target the one day, if you can hopefully get some more viewership to report, that's good for StarCraft. So that's kind of the hope here. And then, like I said, there's a very, I don't know, I'm not leaking information, but very likely this was a decision made to help with the cost of this show, which is pretty extravagant. And we're back in the big room, which is cool. It was never bad to be out of it, but that arena is nice, and for a lot of people, that kind of status and stuff is important to them. So that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I think I saw a little bit of how it was set up for Overwatch last year, where it was like the stage was in the center and like had more stuff around it, right? So we might have like a very cool stage setup. I'm not sure. I mean, I really liked what we had last year, but
should be okay. Next topic that was introduced here. This feels like Ravi. EU and NA are great. Part 3. Did you not say that, Ravi?
We were joking about this before the show, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's actually that much to say about it, but Fear Dragon was assaulted by the European players for the tweet he put out.
The most interactions Fear Dragon's ever had before.
It was.
Oh no. I've said something like this before, and just as many the last time. The fun part was that I made the tweet, and like my other favorite part is that I make the tweet around the time the Pylon shows at, which all the Europeans are asleep. And I make the tweet after Artosis says it, and I clip it. And then like 7 pro players are like, nice timing, Ravi. I see you that you intentionally dodged the time all the Europeans are awake. I'm like, what? Ugh. Anyways, yeah. I'm pretty done with this topic.
Okay. So you were getting trolled. Fair enough.
Yeah.
You get to troll us a little bit. I guess they trolled you. Next one though, what was it? Cobra was just over there.
This is a real one coming up.
It's a real one. This is the Ravi topic. Why giving casters criticism is really hard to do well, and what good caster criticism looks like. This is a very interesting topic. It's come up a few times. I'll let Ravi kind of talk about it, but let me just give the backdrop of my own opinion of there's almost never a time where this topic gets discussed where someone doesn't immediately attack the person discussing it for like sour grapes or they're being sensitive or something. Try to detach yourself from that knee-jerk response and instead approach it from the perspective of someone very introspective, someone very thoughtful, someone very professional, and Ravi, who would like to give what they feel is advice on perhaps how to engage on this level. With that being said, Ravi, go ahead.
Yeah. So I think that it's like something that we like. A lot of the casters always talk about, oh, there's like a lot of really bad feedback. Obviously, I don't even think I need to go super deep into if you give your feedback that's, wow, your voice sounds really terrible, or I think you're really ugly. It's like, what are you supposed to do with that? Can't really do anything about that, right? But there are a lot of other types of feedback that are not necessarily always going to be valid. And it's like, I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that people just think of things sometimes from their perspective of like of just their viewpoint of what they prefer, rather than maybe things that like other people like. Like an easy example is if a sponsor wants to have good return on something. Like obviously, I'm sure most of the viewers would like and prefer that we just only show games and there's very little time between games and stuff. But the sponsor obviously wants some time on the show, so like it makes sense to spend more time, make sure that the sponsor gets some showtime, right? So just because you prefer that there are more games doesn't mean it's necessarily better. Sometimes like a tournament organizer, and I've worked with tournament organizers like this, they care less about the viewership and they care more about like the player experience. So players want to take a break or something, or players, but like all these other kind of things, like the players have a preference that takes priority over viewership. So I think that there are a lot of things that don't get thought about when people give feedback, and that makes it really hard to take most feedback seriously, because it's like, I don't know if you were really thoughtful about this, or if this is just a knee-jerk reaction.
Any thoughts on that, guys?
Yeah.
Well, oh, go ahead, Rapid.
Oh, I was just gonna say that I think it's hard a lot of times to give accurate feedback, because I don't think there's really good channels to do that. I'm not really gonna go check Twitter and Reddit for how I should be doing my job, but there's I think a happy medium that I think StarCraft hits more than a lot of other esports, where there's people calling out, hey, I thought that this was really well done, and on the other side, hey, I didn't like the way that this was done. But I think it's really hard from a viewership perspective to micro analyze like the good stuff and say, hey, this is how you could be doing things better, and really easy to just say, hey, I didn't like this for some superficial sort of feeling idea. But to go off what Ravi is talking about, I think the main point, correct me if I'm wrong, is just that sometimes the viewer is not always the focal point of the broadcast, and sometimes maybe the experienced viewer isn't the focal point, the new viewer isn't the focal point, and so it's hard to hit every demographic simultaneously. And I think if you have feedback, that's important to take in mind before you give that, so that you can kind of get the bigger picture of what maybe the broadcast is going for.
I always think if you do, and this is on both sides, I think this is the commentator, and I'll explain that part in a second, but for the viewer as well, I think if you try to at least take the moment to kind of understand the perspective you're portraying, but also the role you play. So for you, if you're going to write out a criticism to a commentator, that comes from a place of, this is what I think I would like to watch or hear, which is not even close to speaking on behalf of everyone, unless they obviously do something super egregious, in which case your criticism is probably not even needed because everyone else is shouting down their throat to do it. But if you're just like hey, I noticed you do this thing, just so you know, this is kind of how I feel about it, and I would think that maybe if you did it this other way, it would be more entertaining, or it'd allow for me to include more of my family members if you try to get away from adult topics and stuff like that. But if you come at it from a perspective of, I know that this is not for everyone, but this is kind of what I think. The flip side of this for me is and I've gotten better about this over the years. It used to be terrible, and I'm still working on it, obviously. But when someone tells me that, it's not from a place of they know how for me to do my job better, and they're not saying the way you do it is wrong, here's how you do it right. They're just saying, for your information, this is what I think could help. And it does help for me as a commentator. If enough people give me that kind of feedback, then what I think is the better way for me to entertain or communicate, all of a sudden I factor in, actually a lot of people are telling me they kind of want this thing. So then I make a choice. Do I think that would be better for my brand and what I'm doing alongside Ravi or Artosis when I commentate? And then we're all informed and we're helping each other and it feels good, as opposed to kind of what and even getting away from the obvious examples, but sometimes, like I said, a lot of times people will be like, yo, Jeff, I noticed you're doing this thing. My dad worked in broadcasting and baseball in St. Louis for 35 years, and he would say that this is actually the way to do it. And in my head, the second people speak in absolutes like that, I'm automatically going, no, that's not what he would say, because it's weird to tell someone that this is the only way to broadcast something that's completely different. And then I'm disregarding everything they say, and then there's a chance that they get frustrated because there's they're trying to offer help in their mind, but it's not being received because the way they're telling it is from a perspective of like, I know better than you how to do your job. So that's why I think this is a really interesting subject for me, because I think most people come from a place of good intentions, but the way they communicate it ends up sending a message to us as people that receive this kind of stuff all the time on a spectrum too, right? We get, I hate in control, all the way down to, you're the best commentator I've ever heard in my life, and everything in between, right? And there's varying degrees of productivity there, but when you're on one side of the extreme or the other, and you want to try and influence how you want that person to think about their job, you got to consider the perspective, is what I would say.
I would also say that, just to kind of build off that, in a number of other esports, a lot of what the casters say is very either heavily mandated by the company that they work for, or in one recent case I just found out about, a company is very sensitive to pro player feedback, who and there have been several issues where pro players have literally, gotten talent taken off of broadcasts because of giving negative feedback about them. And I'm just like, those are obviously kind of extremes. And I would just say that StarCraft has the remarkable luxury of quite a bit of freedom when it comes to like personalities and broadcast styles. And I think that you're going to see a lot more varied examples of those because of that. And I think that's a great thing, because it gives people the ability to be people without being, mouthpieces for corporate entities, or people with scripts that have to follow, like, just the letter of the law, or people have to play it safe because they're worried about whatever pro player is going to say about it. I think that's actually a huge benefit.
And I want to add one thing, because there's some good feedback in the chat too. And this is a concept that comes up a lot. And this is basically a different way of putting what Ravi already said, which I think is a fantastic point. Sometimes people will come, so this is Therius in the chat, says, there's feedback about style and technical aspects of your cast, and then there's just someone's subjective experience of your product. So I agree, but there's a lot of people, again, who will say, like, here's some advice from me on the technical aspect of your cast, or like the style of it, the humor of it. And again, that feedback can be valuable, but if it comes from a place of, on any level, of this is wrong, this is how you do it better, there's so many factors that people outside of the industry don't really factor in. Like, a lot of times when I cast with people, my role shifts and changes. My humor can be very pushy and over the top, and people can respond to it the wrong way, or I can be with someone that I've been friends with for 20 years, and actually that familiarity kind of goes there. But then there's like the informed commentary, where you want to ask them a lot of questions and try to get them to show off their knowledge. Then there's the comedic caster, who you set up softballs over and over again because they're just really funny, witty people. And then there's combinations therein. So there's all these like different things going on. And then we're also having producers and the company itself kind of telling us what they'd like from the level of show, that oftentimes when people are like, hey, you did this thing, I didn't like it, there's so much for me to explain as to why that happened that I don't. I oftentimes just like, well, okay, sorry you didn't like that. And then nothing of value is really had there. So just try to factor that into your comments, because again, it doesn't mean you're wrong to do that. It just means that if you come from more of a place like, hey, Jeff, this thing happened on the cast, just for me as a viewer, I thought that it was a little too harsh, or, if you could perhaps think about it this way, I may or may not factor that in, but if it seems like it's a friendly, I'm trying to help you type of thing, I'm more receptive to that than when someone's like, yeah, you said this thing was wrong, and you've done that 3 times in the last 6 months, and I think you should be fired. You're like, okay, well, thank you.
Yeah. It's not actually even, so go ahead, Don.
I was just going to say, I think also pattern recognition is important. Like, that's the best time to give feedback, would probably be if you see something that they do more than one time that you don't like. Like, there's definitely been times where like something goes wrong in a cast for various reasons. And the thing is, I feel like every time that I have like a very strange situation that's never happened before, like I've mentioned before, there was this one cast where I had to go to the bathroom. It was the worst I've ever had to go. Yeah. And it was the longest TVT best of 3 of my life. And I don't even know what I was saying. I don't know. I have no idea what I said. And as I got to the bathroom on the break, I like ran. And then there's like a fucking thread on Reddit about it. And I'm like, I don't need this feedback right now.
Yeah.
Right? So the pattern recognition, I think, is something that is, and in fact, I find that to be really helpful if someone can point out something like it was Nick actually mentioned it last night on the show because I was mentioning to him that he's using too much. It's like, yeah, stuff like that. Oh man, it's like don't just always send in stuff like that, but you know, anything that becomes a pattern, it can be hard for the person saying it to, you know, realize that it's there. Yeah.
And you're about to say something, Rabbit? Do you have, or no, it was Ravi. Sorry.
Yeah,
Ravi.
I was gonna echo a little bit of what you were saying, Jeff, about like just it's the fact it's like a lot of the way that criticism is delivered. Like this isn't even different from normal human interaction with other people. This isn't just a caster to cast or like audience kind of situation. If you go up to someone and you're like, okay, I want to convince them that, I don't know, they're in a toxic relationship or something. If you just approach them and like, hey, you're dumb. You're in a really bad relationship because you're stupid. Or like, obviously they're going to suddenly be on the defensive. And the way that a lot of people deliver their criticisms, where it comes from like that elitist place, it's like, imagine someone just comes up to anyone doing their job and is like, I actually know a lot better than you. You don't know who I am or anything about me, but like, I know this better than you. You're doing it wrong. Like, of course they're going to be on the defensive and immediately be like, okay, I'm getting critical of this analysis. So just that's a general thing. The other thing I want to say, which is, I think that one thing that people always sometimes assume also is that it's always good to appeal to the majority of people with every decision you make.
Right.
And I don't actually agree with that. I think that there are plenty of times that appealing to the minority, or like not necessarily like the smallest segment of group or people, but a minority is actually totally fine. Like the example I always like to think of is, let's say that there are 70% hardcore StarCraft fans and there's 30% new people, because that's actually like a really large number of new people, right? That came in from some host or something on WCS. If 70% of those hardcore StarCraft fans are going to watch the broadcast pretty much regardless of what the casters are saying, they'll complain about it. They might mute the stream, but they'll probably still be watching. But the 30% that are new are going to just open it up and be like, what is this? I came in from World of Warcraft. And the casters aren't explaining anything. And they're just going to bounce, right? So there seems like there would be some potential logic, and it might not seem like that bad of an idea to say, yeah, you know, the hardcore people are going to be here anyways. Let's explain more of the game to like the minority. It's not necessarily a wrong decision there. I think people just assume all the time, like, I see a lot of people on Reddit, which by the way is not the majority of viewers. I see a lot of people on Reddit say this, therefore this is what the majority want and this is the right answer. I'm like, no, that's actually not the case always.
So I want to get his name right. I'm trying to do a better job of that. Aetherius, once again, I had a good follow-up point too, and I think this is important to point out there. And this is a concept that for me is like a little bit personal. I would even say it's a journey, as it can be for anyone. Anyways, the point is, he was saying, okay, cool. At what point does it just become the caster or commentator or whoever the subject of the criticism is says, well, that's just my brand. And you know, the essential answer there is, I hear your criticism, but I'm going to continue to do this other thing. Man, that's actually like such a big maturity and progress in your life, is you get to this place where you'll kind of realize in general that when you say to somebody, hey, I think you're doing this thing wrong, or I'd like to offer you some advice on that thing, and that person says, okay, yeah, I appreciate that. That's a cool gesture. Let me hear you out. But just so you know, I actually feel pretty strongly that I'm going to continue on this way. That's a big thing. And it's a caster journey as well. There's a lot of young casters that when they step in, myself included way back in the day, every bit of criticism was like, that must be right. I'm wrong. Oh my God, I'm doing this thing wrong. Oh. And then you feel attacked and it gets personal and you're like, oh shit. And you get really upset about it. Now, and I've been doing this a long time, so it's a lot of these guys, it gets to a place, at least for me, where when somebody says that, sometimes, and they'll get really emotional about it too, I'll just be like, that person is just not going to like my style. But I enjoy how I do this. I get a lot of good feedback, and I feel like I contribute to the show. And my producers are telling me that they enjoy hiring me for these purposes and stuff like that. So I have a pretty good grounding of I'm doing these things correctly and I'm going to move forward, which is not to say I know better and block that advice. It flavors it, though, which I think is a huge advantage. When someone's like, this thing you did, I really hate it. If I keep hearing that from a lot of people, I factor that in. It doesn't mean it rules my life and I decide, well, they must know better and I have to stop this thing. It just means if I keep hearing it and more people tell me, and a trusted confidant like Maynard or my co-commentators, stuff like that, they come to me like, hey, man, probably could have handled this thing a little bit differently, that kind of stuff. it all becomes feedback that I absorb and take. But there is, and you know, I'm sure this is not a stretch of imagination for a lot of you guys. I make off-color jokes. I say things inappropriately. I need to improve on a lot of stuff, but that's not on accident. And I don't do it because I think I'm the all-knowing best being on earth. I do it because I think it's fun to live off the cuff. I think it's exciting to put people on their back foot. And I'll make myself the butt of the joke, but I like to make other people like, and that's not for everyone. That's never been for everyone, right? Like throughout my entire life, I've encountered people where they're like, I don't like this. This is not for me. And they're not wrong either. That's the thing. And that's the maturity that I've come to, which doesn't necessarily mean that I'm untouchable and everything I do is right. It means I'm a work in progress and I want feedback, but I'm also confident enough to say, actually, this is, I think, okay. And what I'm doing is good, but I will factor in the feedback. So to me, that's a maturity thing. Because if you asked me like 5-6 years ago, that would not be my answer. And it's only the last couple of years I've gotten to a place where I think that's a good place to be.
Yeah, I can just kind of agree with that. I know when I first came out here to Korea, one of the biggest feedbacks that at least Nick and Dan gave me is, maybe to take it a little bit easy on the reading online comments. And I've had kind of a love and hate relationship with that, because I really do want to get down in the the nitty gritty of just well, what makes a good broadcast? And I think a lot of times viewers kind of need to understand that talking to you guys and responding on Reddit threads or TL.net articles is just not the way that that's going to happen. People debating how to fix a professional at his job is just that's not where the answer is found. You're not going to solve a political event by posting about it on Facebook. You're not going to fix the caster by making a big thread about how much we hate them. And there's a really good discussion in chat about what is the best way to give feedback if you're a viewer and you feel like you've noticed something and you actually genuinely care about the caster and you just want to point that out. Some of the most helpful messages that I've gotten are just private ones, either a DM on Discord or Reddit or wherever, where you just say, hey, I noticed that you said that this thing would happen over and over again and it never happens. That's because of this reason. And a lot of times the caster can either read that and do what they want with it or not. But when there's these big circle jerk threads everywhere, or when you think that the way to get your point across is to make a big emotionally charged post somewhere, that's just not it. So if you have something and you want to get it across and you're wondering, how can I make my voice heard? Probably just, calm down a little bit if you're really angry about something, and send an email that comes from a place of love, because we're all here because we love this game for whatever reason or another. Some people love one part of it or another part, and everybody has different styles. And I think that if you have something you want to get across, just send a nicely worded message. It doesn't have to be big or long or whatever, because we're not out here hating any feedback. We don't think that all viewers are stupid and bad, and we're just going to totally disregard everything. But for the most part, the best feedback, and Jeff said this also, and I think most casters would agree, comes from other casters or professional producers, the people we work with directly. And so it's not that we ignore you, it's just that there's really good feedback out there that we are getting. It just doesn't always come from reading Reddit.
I want to mention why, because that sounds, when you word it, that it's some weird circle jerk within casters to give feedback to each other, only listen to each other. But the fact of the matter is, for instance, this casting, I do some streaming and I love doing Pylon show and stuff, but casting is actually my full-time job. It's what I do to feed my babies. So I think about it all day. People will watch my stuff a lot and then they think about it while they watch it. Me thinking about it all day is different from people thinking about it while they watch it. And so that, I think that's why there can be a lot of stuff that we can do that can I think it's important for the community to post what they like and post in these threads, even if some of it is way off base and wrong quite often. But there's good stuff too. As soon as you start seeing patterns emerge from what the community is saying, then you actually start to find truth, right? Because otherwise, I mean, really, this job is not like a tournament. We know who the world champion is, Cyril, because he won the tournament, right? Whereas with casting, it's very subjective. So the community should be voicing everything, but certainly I think in a professional way, one of the ways that we can improve very quickly is by talking to each other about it, because this is what we do all day and this is what we think about. But certainly criticism is needed, and people talking about what they like is needed. If you look back to the beginning of StarCraft 2, we had a lot of casters back then that were really truly terrible, and a lot of them got, I'm not going to name any names or anything, but a lot of people got rooted out because the community's like, no, what, this is terrible, you know. So there is a job that's being done by all feedback and all criticism. And yeah, so patterns show truth, and emotions I think show truth as well. This is the way that I take criticism a lot of times is if I see a lot of people saying the same thing about me, or if I like feel an emotion towards, like if I read a comment and I'm upset suddenly, then I know there must be some amount of truth in it, because otherwise, like I get a lot of comments where people say shit and I just kind of laugh and block them because I'm like, what? like that's not true. Okay. They'll like say something to me. I'm like, Tasteless said that. That wasn't even me. Goodbye. You know? And so, yeah, I don't know. That's my take.
Yeah.
If I can actually just shout out something, I was kind of going through a rough time, at least as far as my like caster identity or something. Maybe I don't know, 3-4 months ago, and I was watching Jeff's stream, and he pointed out that as far as like viewership and the view, personal view that anybody might have about casters, like we're like super lucky as the StarCraft community to just have like really, really passionate like broadcasters. And even if you think somebody is like the most terrible StarCraft caster in the world, like you should still be like super thankful that they're doing their job, because what Dan says is true. It's pretty easy to tell if somebody just doesn't actually care. And I don't think that that's the issue with anyone out here. And when it comes to giving feedback, a lot of times just coming from a point of caring about things, just like you can assume that everybody else cares about, is probably the place to come through. I think we're actually in a super good place right now. I don't think there's any bleeding, super big issues that anybody needs to correct. But oftentimes, if casters want feedback, they'll ask for it, and if they're not, then maybe that's not the mark you need to hit.
Yeah, I think it's been nice, by the way, too. Like I think StarCraft's gotten to places where it's like the distilled bunch, right? There's not a lot of people that are doing StarCraft just kind of casually. Like if you're a fan, you're a pretty big fan and have been for a while. If you're a professional, like Rapid just said, you've been through the lean times and the big times, perhaps, and you're still here. So you must really like what you're doing. This is not your path to being a millionaire or Forbes 30 under 30 or something like that. You're here because you fucking love what you're doing with StarCraft. So it's a lot of people that like something, interacting, and have been for about a decade. That's pretty damn cool. We got a good thing going on here. So I want to say, and I'm saying that as the guy that had a thread trying to lynch me. Like they really hated me for a little while there. But guess what? All the threads leading up to that were trying to fillet me at the same time. So it's like, it's really tough because it's basically that asphyxiation thing that people do sometimes when they masturbate. It's really weird. You didn't see that coming, did you, Dan? Get it? That's another pun.
That one, yeah.
Jesus.
It's like 5 in a row, and it went from a really nice comment to...
I'm going to get on my alt account and go make a thread about you on a Pylon show.
That's how you end a segment, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, so guys, that was a roundtable topic. Thank you, Robbie. I think that was a very good one. We had a good discussion about it. And mostly, one of the advantages of the show is just putting that out there. What I like about this is, listen, if you're listening to that and you're like, I don't agree with any of that, that's okay too. And that's actually like the cool thing that I've come to realize, at least through StarCraft, is like sometimes people are going to disagree, and that's actually all right, because there's somebody else that will agree with you, and you can find them, and there's a lot of great content being made. Let's talk a little bit about tournament results in Brood War before we get into the Q&A section and call it an episode, guys. So we talked a little bit about this earlier, Dan, but there were some other results as well. That Jadon series, though.
Yeah, okay, so it was kind of wild. We had only 3 O's.
It was a one-sided affair, Dan. I would say, let's just say it like it is.
Yeah, very one-sided affair. The mini action series was pretty good, but action did 3-0 mini. I mean, it was 3-0, but there was some good games in there. Some impressive stuff and some weird plays. Mini definitely kind of a mad genius of Protoss right now. This is KSL Group C, by the way. And then Sulky 4GG was
ooh.
It was hard.
Oh,
it was hard.
That was the most painful Brood War series I've seen in a long time.
Sulky is a lot better than 4GG. Sulky, of course, is a defending champ. Yeah. He just 4GG is not at the place where he can beat Sulky at the moment. Like maybe in another year when he keeps practicing, maybe that's when. But that was incredibly one-sided.
Yeah, for context, 4GG had like the easiest group in the qualifiers. He beat Light, who's a Terran player who's very good versus Zerg. He was playing Protoss, and so that's really the only opposition that he had. It was not a hard group to get in. He made it, and I think he's kind of getting what he deserves.
Reality came crushing in.
Yeah.
The group, it was Light. That was the group that Eon Zerg was in as well.
Yeah, he 2-0'd Eon Zerg.
Yeah. Anyways, that was that group. And then we had Group D, the group of death.
Oh.
Yeah. So, it was last versus Jadong. Ended up being a 3-0, but there was some cool moments in there. There was some good play for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the Coliseum game was pretty cool. It had a big mech switch and some clutch hatchery saves and stuff from Jadong. And I thought that was quite a nice game, at least.
Yeah, you could see that Coliseum was a map that I feel like Jadong was a lot more comfortable on. His game on Eddie, I think that was the last one in the series. I don't know. It just didn't look like Jadong to me, because there's this Jadong moment that he has when he's against players who are like average and maybe good, where he'll be behind and he'll just like kick in like the MJ's secret stuff. Like he just has this crazy mode that he goes where even games where he's behind, he has a way to pull it back. And against Last, I mean, this was the rematch of the season 1 finals, and I think it's safe to say that Last just still got his number, and that Jadong is, there's this Jadong syndrome that Jadong fans who are a special group of people out there have, where they remember how good he used to be, and they always expect that out of him every single game. And that's just not realistic. It's not going to happen. Last is one of, if not the best player in the world right now. He's just insanely good. And so when you run Jadong up against him, it's just not going to look that great.
Yeah, like specifically Last and Rain are currently doing the best. Them and like Sulky basically are the 3 guys to watch right now, because Flash is not playing tournaments, and they're just kind of better than everyone. So it shouldn't be too much of a surprise that Last 6-0 and Jadong. Now, I mean, Jadong fought well in Overwatch 2 now that I'm thinking about it. So Overwatch and Coliseum, he fought very well in both those. The Eddie game was pretty bad, but I mean, we'll see. I mean, this is not his best matchup by any means right now. I think this is actually his weakest matchup, and he's playing against the hardest player he could play against since Flash doesn't play right now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was. I mean, I think it's still kind of worth watching those first 2 games for sure. And then we had Rain versus Stork, and Rain just doesn't lose PvP. He's not into that. He's not into that. Stork's in great shape right now too. Like he's doing well in all the other leagues and stuff, and.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we'll see how he does against Jadong. That's going to, oh my God, we're going to be packed for that. Jadong versus Stork. You kidding me? Best of 5. But yeah, we have KSL tonight, actually.
Okay.
In 7 hours and 21 minutes from now, we're going to go ahead and do Best versus Modesty and 0 versus Sharp.
Okay.
Yeah, those games should actually be really interesting. I think for me, 0, or Queen, like he's going by now, was one of the best Zerg players at the end of the previous era of Brood War, and he came back in, and I know I was talking to Artosis and a lot of other people, and they're just like, this guy actually could win this tournament because he's so solid, he's so good right now. But in his games against Best, he tried the same 3-hatch Hydra all in like every single time, and the only game he won was with a Ling Flood. And I'm just like, it was just bad. It was hard to watch. It was hard to cast, and I want to see some really good games out of him. And I think that he has a good opportunity to show those versus Sharp, who doesn't have the greatest versus Zerg matchup.
He was really selling it. He played terrible, but man, against this other guy is probably not as good. It should be great.
Third best Terran in the world. Okay, he can win.
Oh yeah.
But it'll be a good match. I promise. And I hope we don't just keep having 3-0s though. I'm like, the more 3-0s we have, I'm just sitting here. I'm like, oh my god, like.
Come next
really
week
hard.
though, it's the third best against the fifth, and they're both just coming off
We
a bad
promise
match, so
it'll
they should
get
play
better.
The skill differentiation that we see within Brood War can be pretty wild at times. I tell you,
No,
it's woo.
Brood War's a game where the door gets slammed pretty hard. And you're like, oh, 0% chance.
Like, wow, you're a lot better than me, and we're only 3 ranks apart worldwide.
Well, all right, that's the KSL. Hopefully, we won't have some 3-0s tonight, but you should check it out. They do a great job, guys. So that's all the StarCraft stuff for now. What I want to know is I want to get a pulse on the Patreon people that asked some pretty fantastic questions. We've gotten away from sentient food. We've gotten a little bit more into kind of taking the bodies of animals and stuff. It's gotten real interesting here, and that's kind of where I like to take it. So we're going to go to the Q&A right now, and then we're going to call it an episode. But right now, Mr. Cobra Venom is showing you what it takes to ask these questions. So you just type in through that website that is beautiful and awesome, submit the question right there. You do have to be a Patreon supporter. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, Jeff, what do I look like? Am I made of money? You don't have to be made of money. Only like your pinky has to be made of money. It's just that one. It's just that low tier. Just a couple of bucks. If you're worried about saving the money, don't buy those extra shoelaces. Okay, get Velcro shoes.
People are always buying shoelaces, man. Every day, shoelaces.
Are you a coffee a day kind
cup.
of person? Don't be. What does this look like? The 1800s? Don't do that anymore. All right.
Buy a bag of tea from AFKT.com,
Get a bag of tea,
and you won't need to
save
be
yourself that
buying
money.
coffee every day.
Exactly.
Because it's using up all your Patreon money.
It's exactly right. And frankly, quit being so selfish about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't have your coffee. Only you can. That's not fair. All right. Episode 49. Zesty asks, for the casters, which is us, you ever thought about meeting physical sports great casters? There's more. I'm just trying to... I have oftentimes... Yes. Have you ever thought about meeting physical sports great casters? So that's the beginning of this question. But wait, there's more. I have oftentimes argued that the best StarCraft 2 casters belong in the conversation with Jim Nance, Mike Tirico, etc.
Mike Tirico,
yeah. Who would you compare yourself to? Are the casters you look up to? Oh, are there casters you look up to? Who's the Tony Romo of StarCraft 2?
Ooh, I don't know any sports casters right now, really. Like, I know a couple of the tennis casters. I don't get to watch very many sports out here.
Oh, Dan.
Everything's on at weird times, and I literally don't have TV.
You choose not to, man. Come on. Don't be the victim here.
Yeah, well, obviously I could if I really, really tried, although it is actually a little bit difficult. So I can't really, like, I don't ever really think about meeting them. I've had people tweet at me and compare me to casters. I can't remember which ones. Occasionally someone will tweet at me and be like, wow, you're like Joe Rogan or something as casting goes. But I don't really watch very much UFC. I watch a little bit, I guess, but yeah, I don't know. And I can't answer too much.
Actually, okay. Dan, you remember watching that AlphaGo thing? Michael Redmond.
That's the guy.
That guy is a monster. He's what is it, 9th Dan? Pro Go player, and he did some of the best, like, just insightful, brain blasting commentary for the AlphaGo games that Lisa Dahl played. That guy actually like super killed it. So I had to mention that because I know Dan would pick it.
Yeah, Michael Redmond's amazing at Go commentary.
Right now, the chat's trying to decide which one, Tasteless or Artosis, is the John Madden of StarCraft 2, which is at the same time a compliment.
Get me out
and
of here.
I think Tasteless is the Jerry Lawler of
well, Rapid's Harry Carey, so I think we can get that out of the way.
Oh my, okay. Yeah. I always thought I was more of a Mike Goldberg kind of person, but okay. I'll take what I can get.
Goldberg, yeah. That's from Claymation Fighters, right?
It's UFC, but
Celebrity
basically the same thing.
Yeah. I don't know. Ravi, I know that you're a huge sports fan. Have you put any thought into this at all?
No, I think the most that I've really done is I've read like some autobiographies and stuff by some sports commentators. Like there was one called Play by Play by like Vernie Lundquist or something. So I've done some stuff like that, but like as of actually reaching out, like no sportscaster is gonna care about me. Like maybe Artosis or Jeff or someone, but no one's gonna give a shit about me. So
wait, but if esports is real sports, then we're all sportscasters.
Yeah.
Physical sports.
And I'd use your body to get to the top. So I've watched sports my whole life. I like a lot of sports commentators. Tony Romo, for those of you that don't know, is a former Dallas Cowboys quarterback that turned out to be, in my opinion, pretty phenomenal commentator. Which makes sense. Like a lot of times, former Starcraft 2 pros, they get in there commentating. People really enjoy that as well. Home Story Cup, showing off those players and their knowledge and personality. I think it's a very different animal. So I never compare myself to anyone or any of my peers to anyone really, unless there's like some kind of hilarious similarity, I guess. So I don't know. I don't know what like Dan and Nick. I wouldn't even know who to compare them to. They're two of the most
kind of our own thing.
Yeah.
I think there's also one really big difference that people like underrate a lot when they talk about like sports commentary versus esports. In sports, if I watch a football game and I see someone get tackled, I don't need someone to tell me like, so this guy did this really, really powerful tackle. And I'm like, no, I saw the 300-pound guy tackle the 250-pound guy. Like, that's freaking impressive. I saw the Olympics like acrobat doing crazy stuff. That looks really impressive because I know I exist in a physical world, so I know what's involved in physical things. With esports, you're watching StarCraft, and if you don't know StarCraft very well, if there's like things
it's
about
weird.
It's like the casters are a lot of what we're doing is like translating for what this actually means or what's involved in something and explaining why something is impressive, because that's not always just visually or immediately clear. And I think because of that, a lot of stuff is really different in esports casting than regular. That's at least in my opinion.
I'm saying that they disagree, but the thing is, everyone grows up playing sports, and there's kind of this common knowledge that everyone shares that allows you to skip saying a lot of things within sports. And this would, of course, matter like where you live and who you're casting to. But like if you're American, you kind of know how to play football and baseball and basketball, right? That's just, you don't necessarily need to be like, and he got the ball through the hoop and gained 2 points. You don't need to say that every time because people know that. And I think that adjusting commentary for that is important in StarCraft. Like if someone's watching, a smaller stream, they're more hardcore, right? If it's the middle of the night GSL, I can skip telling you that you lost the Reaper maybe because I'm in the middle of saying something else. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good question. Thank you for that. So we missed a question last week, so we're going to do it now. Hey, Ron. Why is it that Korean casts generally have 3 casters at once while foreign casts have 2? Do they perhaps have a different vision of what elements make up a great broadcast?
Well, I can answer this because I was here at the inception of this occurring. Oh. So Korean casters have 3 because they think that's the best way to do it. English casts have 2 because only Nick and I lived out here when this cast started. So originally it was just Nick casting at the GomTV Avertech Intel thing. When StarCraft 2 was released, Nick and I were the only casters in Korea, so we didn't have a third person. If for some reason like Jeff was here or something, we probably would have just been a trio instead of a duo, to be perfectly honest, because that was the way that they were used to, but there was no one else. So that we started that. That was the first professional casting in StarCraft, and I think that it just kind of, everyone's like, okay, you get 2 people and put them together, and that's how it goes. Yeah.
I would also say that the Korean casting style is much different than the English language casting style. In the Korean one, there's like a main host and then 2 people that try to basically get words in edgewise, and then they all yell at the same stuff. And I think different casters at different times have tried to emulate that Korean casting style in English, and it just doesn't work. There's something about like the language or the attitude or the cultural acceptance that just isn't there. So
yeah,
I know a lot of people ask me, it's like, well, why aren't you as hype as the Korean casters? I'm like like plenty of StarCraft casters are extremely hyped. Like the lack of hype is not the issue. It's just that it doesn't quite work the same way.
Yeah, that's actually an important point. There's some translated videos. If you guys actually go and look at those and see what they're actually saying, because yeah, it sounds really hype. And I'm not saying that it's bad at all. I think they do sound really hype, and I think there's actually a lot to learn. And I actually study the Korean cast a little bit. But if me and Nick just copied the way that they cast and casted like that, after about a week, people would be petitioning to get us off GSL, I think, because it's not the style people are used to, and it's kind of, yeah, it's not. I don't think the English audience would like to hear it in English exactly what's being said.
Yeah.
Even though the thing is, they still have great insight and stuff, but like, yeah, just go watch some of the translated ones, guys, and you'll see it is a very different style than what everyone has been used to.
And that's not a foreign concept. There's been that in everything. You know, like you listen to Mexican soccer broadcasts, football. It's very different from how other languages try to broadcast their sports as well.
Yeah,
it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Trailblazer Network asks, I've heard it been said many times that there should be no changes to Brood War. However, with the remaster came a few, such as Valkyrie's missiles always firing, for example. How have these changes been accepted? And what other ones have there been?
The Valkyrie missiles, it's not about always firing. There was a sprite bug a really long time ago that actually did get fixed. The Valkyrie has new micro that allows it to actually be used and not killed instantaneously, which is what the problem was before. So that's why that's being used. There's, as far as I can tell, there's no actual gameplay changes. There's a little bit of back and forth with key clicks when the mouse button is held down, which I think we're getting a patch to fix that. Which if I recall correctly, on Chaos Launcher that was disabled so that you could press keys and click at the same time. But everyone is pretty much in agreement that should be, because when you're moving at 300 to 400 actions per minute, it's totally ludicrous that you should just have keys not register.
It sucks. Like, it feels super bad.
Yeah.
Because I remember when the game first came out, and they've changed this. They've gone back and forth about this. I remember one of the first things that you pointed out, Dan, is that sometimes your stuff just doesn't do stuff, and you know, so half of that's Brood War, but the other half is that the inputs. And I think the only real like arguments that anybody has made to change anything about the remaster for Brood War is the Total Recall bug and the hallucinated High Templar morph into Archons. And I think the solution to both of those was basically just like, nobody does Total Recall because it's really hard to do and you have to set it up and it's really weird. So very rarely happens.
And one in a pro game, I believe. One Total Recall that I've seen.
And even then, the guy was super far ahead to try to do it, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he was a little bit ahead and used it as like a finisher. But there's like downsides to it too. But the hallucinated Templar thing, if that actually gets off in pro play, then that needs to be fixed.
Well, somebody said that it was something an error that was introduced in the remaster, and that's not true. The devs confirmed that you can actually do it. It's very precise timing, but you can do it in the previous version of Brood War before Remastered came out. And I think that's an easy thing you just say don't do because it's really stupid and it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
Just
you
like
can't do that by accident.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like to talk about it, but there's actually a lot of things that do break the game that you could always do in Brood War that they just made rules about not doing in tournaments. So it's not like this is a new concept. Brood War has tons of things that are totally game breaking. We just tell people not to do them, and people don't do them. So there you go.
We used to have all sorts of bugs, like flying a Dark Templar into someone's base and
stuff.
It's
like, it's stupider. Boster's allied mind stuff or whatever.
I'm sure no one's even going to try the hallucinated Archon thing.
It's so stupid. Yeah.
What do you think about this, Jeff?
Are you guys done yet? What in
no,
the
hold on. I have a little bit more to say.
It's the Q&A section. They ask
These
a
are
question.
Patreon.
You answer
people.
it.
Matter.
It's not story time with old Dan and his pal Rapid. Well, I actually recall it was a season 4. It was a winter autumn season. The Templar were floating, and it was of course highly regarded as illegal. But that didn't stop old. I believe his name was Chunjay SG from the Team SG, a Western team, and he was able. And it's like what? He's asking if there's going to be more changes in StarCraft.
No more changes.
That's it. All right.
Yes, that's right. But
this is the
maybe
most
we should
trollable
discuss
show,
the
by the
history
way.
of changes and why there should be no more changes.
Should there be changes?
Oh my God, the discussion. And here's the thing. I don't know how Dan does it because we've been asked these questions. I've been 12-year-old Jeff was asked this question, 17-year-old Jeff, 25-year-old, and now 33. And Dan's still like every time he's like, "Wow, God, more changes." That's a great question. Honestly, if I had the pick of the, I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick in your door when you're 70, be like, "Dan, StarCraft Brood War, dude. What do we change?" And he'll be like, "Wow."
Should we buff the scout?
He'll like move his chair.
Don't you touch him!
Do you have my applesauce? Where's that? God. Anyways, guys, next question here. Gildlin, since the Monsanto toss has made banana grapes, what kind of grapes were used for the splice, and what appearance do they take? Are they mini bite-sized bananas or banana-sized grapes or something else?
What?
Banana grapes, man.
I assume this is something Dan and Nick jerk each other off to for 1G.
Yeah. How'd you know?
Is it actually?
He was like talking about patience as a child and like fitting the circle through the square hole, and then he's like banana grapes, and it was just funny, man.
Whoa.
I'm not a jealous guy, but let me tell you one of the funniest fucking things that I experienced. This is a little bit on the criticism topic, but it was really funny for me. There was a guy in chat during WCS, and like, I never open up chat, because by the way, I love StarCraft, but our StarCraft chat, like the StarCraft main channel, you guys are shit. It's just terrible. It's like racist stuff. It's like SWAT stickers are flying over there. Who's this commentator? I'd do their butt. It's like, it's just all like, it's just terrible. But I was reading it, and there's one guy that just, for literally, this was a 10-hour broadcast, was going on, and it became one of those things where it's kind of like the, what's that guy, that French Zerg that had the 4-hour game, Fire
Cake.
Fire Cake. Like when you get 2 hours into that, you can't stop. You have to finish. You have to be like, where does this end? This guy was just going on and on about how he's like, these casters talk about anything other than the game. It's like, there's no question why they don't commentate the GSL. Nick and Dan are constantly giving us the action of the game. And the guy was doing this for 10 hours. And in my head, I'm like, there aren't two commentators that get away with talking less about the game than Nick and Dan. And the joke here is that half the time when one of the two talks about the game, it's from what they remembered 6 years ago when they last played a game of it. And this guy was going bananas. He was going crazy. So I watched it for 10 hours. Very good.
All right.
Are you hurt, Dan?
I guess everybody's just
Not
taking
you.
a turn with story time today, right?
Well, it's the talk show. Of course, it's story time. All right, couple last questions. Oh, nope, never mind. There's a lot. Holy shit, you guys. Okay.
Yeah, we have quite a few more.
Oh, did I miss that? Oh, okay. Yep.
You did this one.
Foot. Or is it Warpgate? No, Warpgate's the bot. Got it. I think we have all been tilted before. Dan. While playing StarCraft.
I've never been tilted.
No,
What are
you
you
have not.
talking about?
Left that, yeah. What have you found as the most effective method for getting refocused and off tilt? Dan, what do you do when you get really tilted, my man?
I lose more ladder points. Recently, though, I've been trying to just walk away from StarCraft if I get really, really angry at something. Like the other day, I missed something like 14 shots uphill against a Marine. In
No!
Vultures.
That was so good. Oh,
Is there a clip of that? How's that not a clip?
I don't know. But
it is a clip. I saw
I'm just sitting there, and you should have seen the guy because I'm like, oh, congratulations, because I literally lost the game because it takes 2 hits to hit a Marine. I had like 5 vultures. We had so many volleys come out, and the Marine didn't die, and I couldn't get up the ramp. And
Dude,
I got
I'd
so
pay-
angry.
I'd
I
pay
think I
money to
just
see
logged
that
off,
rage.
and I went away. And a few hours later, I was feeling okay.
Yeah.
But for me personally, when I get really, the things that make me really upset nowadays, like I've done better at controlling the emotions and the anger, but like when the RNG just fucking slaps me down like that, when I miss too many shots uphill in a row and I lose, every now and then that happens, right? It's always fucking vultures too. Every time.
Gemini says
I walk away.
Gemini, you need a moderator to give you permission, but you can post that link in the chat. I'd love to see that. Chicken manners to me. What about you guys? Ravi, do you even get tilted, Ravi?
I do. I actually get extremely tilted. But it's usually off stream, and I think so I also do the same thing that Dan does, where I just rage queue up. So I think the longest losing streak I've had is 27 games in a row.
Holy God.
Yeah. It was in a hotel room. It was in a hotel room during challenge.
You were at WCS, yeah.
Yeah, I did not have my keyboard. I had like a shitty mouse that didn't have a mouse pad. And I was like, I'm gonna ladder a little because I have 8 hours to kill before I need to go to bed. No, that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
I think just playing like stupid builds on ranked has helped me. I'm feeling a little bit better, or just not playing StarCraft for a bit. Working out helps a lot.
Step away, man. Here's the clip though. Let's play this clip real quick. We've got audio. Not a Marine, but
how many shots am I? How many shots did I just fucking miss?
You see this? Do you see this? That's right.
Fucking robbery.
Did you see that? All I wanted to do, right? I have my speed vultures with my fucking mines.
Fucking robbery.
There's a dragoon right there. I just need to lay a mine next to it, and it's gonna die.
So bullshit.
Fucking probe, hero probe, just sitting there. Seems like he must be good at the game.
And you're the only person whose channel I go to every single week, and it's not even that I watch your stream as much, but I go to your clip section every single week, and I catch up on all the bullshit you've experienced.
Wow. I didn't know people were even clipping things from it, actually.
Of course.
Except I see them on Reddit sometimes.
Oh my God, dude.
Oh God, there's a lot.
It just gives me life. Like,
oh my God. What is this?
Imagine the purpose for your existence being to experience only the painful parts of a game. Just like only those.
Dan
That's why I was put on this earth.
One of my favorite people, and obviously one of the most passionate StarCraft people, but I cannot think of anyone else that has been completely typecasted almost, or like imprinted by a video. Like every time this stuff plays, it's got the watermark for me of him going, StarCraft's a beautiful game. Just like every time, and then he's not lying. That's the thing. Sometimes you'll get talent that'll be like, I love something, and they don't actually, whatever they're getting paid. Dan is StarCraft, StarCraft is Dan, and it's so true that when this scene happens, he starts hyperventilating because he's getting so mad. You can hear it in the video. He's like, did anyone else see that? It's a robbery. I love it. It's a little. I wish I could feel things as much as Dan does. Anger towards things that happen in StarCraft. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Great question. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this question gets asked all the time. Just get up and go do something else. Is the actual answer. These guys did a great job filling time. But like, if you're getting tilted, man, don't sit there and keep getting more mad and trying to. You'll just lose more.
I got stuck on the fucking bushes. It never happened to me. You're trying to play well? You're trying to do something other than... Dude,
Dan, the thing is, this video actually is not that successful. Of the 44,000 views, I'm 42 of them, so... 1,000. You don't need to worry. There's not that many people actually watch this. It's just that I watch it 10 times a day. Good content out there. Thank you for the question. Next up, we got Lamora. In case you didn't talk about it during the show, any insights on why Year Zero was dropped from GSL? It was played rather often and created interesting games, and nobody seems interested in playing on the replacement. What's your thoughts on GSL deviating from the ladder pool? It's because it created 2 long games?
So, Cobalt's the replacement for Year Zero, right?
Yeah.
Cobalt is like a fantastic map. I love that map. I mean, I don't play on it, so I'm not totally qualified, but I think just visuals, it's great. So, I don't...
Yeah, well, okay, they want more diversity within the map pool, I guess. I'm not sure why specifically it was year 0 over the other maps.
Like year 0 just got cut in half every single game.
I think it got vetoed more than any other map except New Repugnancy. So I'm not 100% on that stat. Anyways, yeah, Cobalt is a 4-player map, so it's just going to get vetoed until maybe one mirror match, and then when we hit best of 7s, when you can't veto. But yeah, I don't know why they chose specifically year 0.
Okay, we don't know. Thank you for the question, though. Some drunk Canadian asked, day 1 of the GSL Super Tournament was by far one of the funniest casts I have ever seen. Artosis and Tasteless had me laughing almost as hard. Remember, Dan, almost as hard as when Day 9 fell off his chair during the state of the game. What are you can't stop uncontrollably laughing moments from StarCraft 2?
I've definitely had some. It's hard to remember exactly, to have them exactly come to mind, but
once every 9 months, Tasteless will just break you. Those are the good ones.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, I'm not. And the thing is, I can't remember them, but yeah, I've had moments where I just can't stop laughing, and I think that they're super funny. And it's oftentimes Nick. Obviously, I cast with him the most. Jeff makes me laugh a lot too, though.
I laugh. I'm not like a guy that shies away from laughing, but I typically don't can't stop breathing laugh, but it does happen, and it did just happen recently at Katowice with There's 2 instances, and I told both these stories in Pylon Show, but the one where Pig, it's always when it gets late at night. It's like you're 12 hours into the commentary, and we're just sitting in the green room, just shitting on each other. And it oftentimes involves Pig getting up there when he's just really tired. He did a commentary where there's 3 of them. So there's the Pig moan, which is actually a sound on my stream, which I think we have deactivated for right now, so you'll have to tune in later to catch that. But it's just amazing. He was just on broadcast, and something happened. He goes, and we're in the green room. We're like, whoa, and we just died. Oh, it does work. Oh, okay, I'll hit it right now. Here you go. This is.
Oh man, that's insane.
That was good. You guys heard that, right? Maybe not. You didn't hear that?
I heard it. It's
Yeah.
good.
Oh, you did hear it, but you don't care? Rubby heard it and doesn't. Wow, tough crowd here, guys. Okay, well, that was an amazing moment. And then later, Kevin actually moaned so loud that we made fun of him. But the best probably was the Muslim during a broadcast, just emotionally could not handle Maru losing, and he just came out and he was just like, Maru, no, during a broadcast. And for the rest of the weekend, we were all just saying it to the Ben, and it was good. That was it for me. You guys got a better answer than Dan's? I can't remember, but these people are kind of funny. Jesus! Let's get the show over with. You guys are tired. What?
Home Story Cup usually has a lot of really good moments.
Yeah.
I laughed the hardest when I watched every single one of Husky Starcraft's videos that don't exist anymore. So that's my ass.
Okay.
You guys see his new video, by the way?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Took a lot of pleasure in that. I was like, man, when someone has a bad idea, and they take a production team and they invite all their friends to name drop on a video, and it was rough. That was interesting. All right. We're going to ask the next question here in a second after we have a visual representation of what's going on with Dan. Huh?
Am I upside down?
No, you're not. You're fine. Don't worry. Okay.
Just a little tilted.
Next question from Nyan. What's a really good question?
That is a good question.
Ravi, what's a good question?
Is EU really that much better than N? No. I got nothing.
I have a sideways answer to this. One of my favorite questions ever asked. It obviously got taken too far, but originally when Rotterdam and Artosis debated a sentient hot dog eating itself to stave off starvation, the way the two of them took that really seriously, they both went into it smirking and laughing, but then they actually started having a serious talk about it because they could sense the other one not agreeing with them. That was one of my favorite things to ever witness.
Yeah.
Todd's style in general is good because Todd's way of trolling Dan is just generally to ask him a question about everything he says. a long con. It takes a couple hours, but if you can watch it to its full effect, it's incredible. And then, you know what? There's been good questions. I know this might be a cheeky question, but just in general, ones that gets, I think, these guys to start talking about something you otherwise wouldn't hear them talk about. I think that's a good question. All the ones where we can kind of be like, I don't know, that probably not a good question. Anybody else have something to add?
My favorite questions are questions that Jeff thinks are stupid that I then answer for too long. I like those ones.
Yeah, it's a good yin and yang. Rapid, what is a good question to you?
I don't know. Do they have toilet paper in Canada?
Why would they not?
You don't know if you don't ask. Like the stupidest questions are the ones you don't ask.
I've been to Canada and
they do have it, right?
Nailed it. Even better answer. Good. Thanks, Dan.
I know.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, guys. That was great. Simpleton asks, what's the worst professional StarCraft team name in history? And is it Reciprocity?
Oh, no. There's only one answer to this.
Ooh,
it's KT Fingerboom.
That's a bad one.
What?
But
I thought it was Apocalypse Gaming, which was just, it lasted like 7 days. And it was literally the shittiest name or something.
No, that's not it.
No.
What was the team that had that abbreviation that was really bad?
EG? Oh, it's Dead Pixels.
DP.
D-Pix.
Yeah, it was
no, it's D-Pix. That's right. Yes. D-Pix. God, that was the hardest stretch of my professional career because every time I look at this and I'm like, guys, it's D-Pix so-and-so. And I'm like looking around and no one's like, not doing it, Jeff. Not going near that. I'm like... Actually, and I didn't even make the best joke about this. Who was it? Someone made it about Hero Marine because he was on that team or something like that, right? Like, God, it might have been Maynard or something. Damn it.
Dude, people are bringing up great, terrible names. Duckload.
Yeah.
Duckload, White Raw.
Yeah.
Love Your Girlfriend. Remember that team?
Yeah, that's weird. There's been some bad teams, you guys. Been some bad teams.
I love Triumphant Song Gaming, though. That's a good name.
I love you upside down. This might have to be our new motif, actually.
I feel dizzy when I look at the stream. I'm like, oh my God! I like hold on to my chair hard. Oh, I'm falling. Oh no, I'm okay. Okay.
Oh, it was TLO. You're right. Yes, thank you for recalling that. It was TLO that made the funny joke. Yeah. Oh my God, that was good. Good questions. Yeah, that was a good question. Alessandra asks, No Regret made a new map this week and posted on Twitter. I would like to know your thoughts on it. And then she has 2 files. Penguin, not the Nordic Sir Knight, posted his own. Interesting map in the comments.
That page doesn't exist.
Oh, yeah, that's a No Regret map.
Hold on.
It's called Clusterfuck Station, you guys. What are your thoughts on it?
It's a great name.
Yeah.
It's too small. He's actually been talking to me that he wants to try his hand at making some maps.
I can't believe No Regret's first foray into making a map is an incredibly tiny map. That's so weird. Do you think the link runs
Yeah,
time
it's like
is pretty
64 by 64 or something. It's crazy. It's interesting. I think this was him just trying to learn how to use the map editor.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No. Knowing Jake, he's playing in show matches and there's like best of 69s where they're like, you could pick any map. And he's like, I'll have this ready. That's at least one win.
Oh, that's a good play. That's a long-term thing he's doing.
A lot of very serious comments in there for Clusterfuck Station.
Yeah. It's actually interesting that there are a lot of people that take mapping like quite seriously. And that's a good thing, obviously, because we get really good maps. I think the maps have been doing very well recently. And I think it's cool to get some more people that play at a really high level involved too. Because I know there's definitely some, like Snoot did some map making, right? Beastie Cutie messes with maps a bit. And if you combine them with the people that actually make really nice maps, you'll get some
what?
New interesting things going on maybe. Because I think that there is like right now the map pool is really good. I think we're having like I don't even have a map I want to veto right now, which is cool. But we could do with a little bit more different stuff. Like I'd like to see someone make a 4-player map work. I know that's really tough, but maybe even 3 players, some maps that are not completely symmetrical. Like, how can we? Yeah, I would like to see some slightly different stuff.
Great question. Thank you very much. Next up, we have GGM asking, if I were to write a 2,000-word StarCraft research paper for all you to read on the Pylon Show, what topic would you want to read about?
Well, first of all, you'd have to be a $25 Patreon subscriber to enter that. But
and end with a question.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Very nicely done, Rapid. Very nicely
Gotcha.
done.
Yeah. I mean, if you're just going to write any sort of research paper, like there's all sorts of things I like to read about. I like to read about glaciers and stuff. I think reading about glaciers, I think making Jeff read about glaciers from the questions because he reads about it, that would be a really great moment for me because I would actually enjoy it and he would just I just know he wouldn't be into glaciers like he should be.
We'll never know until someone does it. Here's the actual right answer, though, guys. Someone needs to do a fanfic, and I will read it.
Oh,
why hasn't there been a Dan and Nick fanfic that I read with all the voice inflection? You know what I'm saying?
Every time I look over, Artosis in a different direction on the screen.
And it doesn't just have to be Nick and Dan. It can be anything. I will have to read it. You just have to support our show, which, by the way, is a weekly show. Been going on almost 50 weeks with these fantastic people putting on all this stuff. You want to support it, and now you get to do. You're like, I'm going to support it and write a fanfic that Jeff will read in front of 1,000 people. Yeah,
guys, I can't hold on anymore.
Did he just run out of his room? Oh my god. Cobra had the camera on. I couldn't see where he went. That's actually so funny. All right, let's get through this. A couple more questions here, real quick. It is characters, not words. I misspoke. My bad, guys. But yeah, fanfic. Think about it. Do it. I'll read it. Absolutely. And you can get as adult as you... Well, just keep it, internet friendly. Christopher Hello Peter asks, questions for casters. Question for casters. Just so you guys know, you don't have to ask that, by the way. The questions are just to us, and we are casters. So, what is your thought process on being talked over? What are you feeling in that moment? Does it get brought up after cast? For example, this is already one of my favorite questions. Hang on. For example, Tasteless often talks over Artosis. Artosis doesn't seem to get mad, but I was curious if he's putting on appearances. Dan?
Damn.
Do you really hate Tasteless?
Do you actually hate Nick like I think you do?
Yeah.
I know.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I didn't think you hated Tasteless. I thought you just respected the fact that he studied in more subjects than you. So he
has to respect that. It's just
as soon as you guys see the guitar, guitar part.
Yeah.
I really need Jeff to listen to the entire guitar thing.
I'll do it after.
Twitch.
I'll listen to it.
But anyways, yeah, I mean, when people talk over, it matters what the talking over is. Sometimes you'll be going off on a tangent, something's important happening, so it has to be said. Sometimes it'll be like a really funny moment that needs to be interjected right there, or it loses all of its value.
Right.
It really matters. And I mean, it can be frustrating at times when someone talks over you if it's not for the right reason. Like, for instance, if something, let's say, I don't know, like a queen dies and it's not an important queen and someone interrupts me for that, I'm like, yeah, sometimes a queen dies right now. So that can be frustrating. But if it's like a queen dies, but it's like a really important queen, it shouldn't have died right there, and they interrupt me, I'm like, oh my God, you're right. Look at that. That's terrible. Right. So there's a time and place for interrupting. And I mean, the best you can do is just talk with your co-caster and try to keep zeroing in. There will always be mistakes made.
Yep.
But yeah, you get better at it.
Well, like Dan said, there's different kinds. There's absolutely like a hype moment where both people are shouting, and then it's not even talking over. It's just everyone's kind of emoting. And then, yeah, if I'm making a stupid joke or someone talks over me, I don't give a shit. Like, obviously, I need to be talked over or something like that. But there are some times I have this thing where I'll like make 2 points in one, and that's kind of long-winded and that's kind of stupid. But if you cut me off when I just make the before I go or like and then, and it's all I did was say something stupid, and someone's like, yeah, so over here I'm like, whoa. No, I didn't just say that all submarines are yellow. So I like have to interrupt them and I have to stop them and then I do it. That's one of the, I will say, and I think I'm friends enough with this guy to put this out there, but that's one of the things that like Nate and I have to work on with our synergy as casters. Like Nate very often will jump in the middle of something I'm saying, and if you stop me at that point, all I've said is something stupid. I'm about to make a decent point, at least I think I am.
We can let you go on, but the result...
Yeah. Well, I got to try.
Doesn't change.
But the funny thing is, it happens. It's like you're asking like what we feel and stuff. I don't know. It feels like you're digging for some. We're all friends. That's the funny part. Like even if that happens, like if Dan cuts me off or I cut him off, he's never after a broadcast been like, "You really pissed me off with that." we're also professionals. So unless I do it a whole bunch, we probably don't have this. Like I've never mentioned this to Nate because it's happened like 3 times ever. Like it's not a thing that happens always. It's just it has happened. So I'm trying to be relevant to your question, but no, there's no hatred or rage that I know of. Rapid, do you secretly hiding a anger boner for something?
What is the
Anyways, we'll
worst thing any
here.
no.
You see what I did? It's a performative joke. Cut you off. I think we have one more.
All right. Let's do it.
Matt's got to pull it up here. All right. If I were to copy pasta 2,000 characters for Jeff to read on the Pylon show, what copy pasta would you want Jeff to read aloud? So I guess this is outside of the fanfic. This came after. What do you guys want read?
What is the best copy pasta? I just Googled it.
You just Google what's the best copy pasta?
Oh,
yeah.
If you could find, like, because I think this would be one of the most painful things. I don't know if Jeff. I don't know if it'd be painful for Jeff. Go dig up like 2004 Jeff Team Liquid posts or something that are just super duper terrible. Those
they are terrible, but one of the best stories I've ever written is called "The Hardest Day of My Life." Have you guys read that?
Yes, I've read that. Oh my god.
That's on Team Liquid. If someone wants to link that, I'll even read it right now. But that is one of the best true
You should
stories.
husky that post, Jeff.
Oh
no, man.
I'll be one of your friends that reacts to it.
You've never read it or heard it, have you? It's actually
I could be.
For Team Liquid, it's kind of famous because it got like pretty high up in the blog section, but I don't even know how you'd be able to find it. But yeah, no, actually what Ravi said, that's a good one. That'd be really embarrassing. I did not when you used to write on Team Liquid, you were not thinking this will be here forever. So
it's true.
Younger me said a lot of things that I wish I probably hadn't.
I don't think you're alone on that either. I
Yeah.
think that's very common.
I think that's always true, but nobody ever thinks that, right? Like when they're reading someone saying something stupid, they're not like, they're like, what an idiot. They're not thinking, I've also said stupid stuff. They're like, nah, this guy's an idiot. I'm better than him. All right. Well, no one's finding it, so that's good, actually. Jeff 1, Internet 0. GG, mother truckers.
I'm
Guys.
just posting all of mine in your chat.
Yeah, you're good. You have that right. Okay, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for the questions. Appreciate you guys adding those in there. Like I said, I think a fanfic's the best advertisement we can make for you guys to support the show. Or the people that already do support it to start writing fanfics. Either way, I think we're doing some good stuff here. Here are the people, by the way, that make the show tick. Thank you guys so much for all of your various different contribution levels. But it has equated into us having a healthy, awesome show where we make content, and we're happy. So thank you so much. Thank you guys. If you're not on that list, you're not supporting the show, but you're hearing me saying this right now, know this. We'll find you. Dan has a specific set of skills that he can entertain.
What are they? I haven't found them yet. My mom told me I would one day.
They are that you can be a damn good commentator.
Thank you.
Aww.
Did you find it, Fear Drive?
I did find it. I found it.
I won't actually read it, though. We'll have to do it next episode.
No,
What? Yeah, I thought you were about to say I'm going to have to read it. I was like, no, Dan, don't throw me to the bus like that.
I just interrupt you and read it?
It is in the chat, though, if you want to read it. But keep in mind that was a different time for this kind of stories.
29,000 posts.
Yeah.
How did you have? That's a lot.
That's how he got the
comments
star,
on
man.
Team Liquid?
Yeah.
Dude,
Well,
I was a big
I mean,
Team
if you
Liquid poster.
spam not as bodies thread, then you're just inflating your post count.
Yeah, that's exactly right. All right, let's go around, guys. Well, no, let's give a shout to so we talked about Patreon. Also, again, support us on Maturino. Today's word is salad. It is the month of salad. It's May. It's also Cinco de Mayo coming up, and it is also Mother's Day on the 12th. So we'll remind you guys, make sure and give your mom a hug and tell her you love her, because there's people out
Pylon
there
shirt.
who can't. What's that? Buy her a Pylon shirt? Yep, you can do that as well.
Yeah.
You can do all those things. So support us on Maturino by just typing in that code. Costs you no money at all, but it literally gives us money and we max it out. It's great. It supports the show and allows us to do things like putting on the show match that we have coming up pretty soon. Jim Rising versus JYP. Battle of the not commentators. It'll be best of 5 commentated by myself and Mr. Artosis. And that'll be fun. So that'll be in lieu of one of our regular Pylon shows, but not this next one. We have a guest already signed up for that, and we're excited to announce that fairly soon. The episode 50, by the way. Pretty cool. Otherwise, of course, AFKT. Like it, love it, buy it. And that is it for now. So let's go around the horn and get these guys off to do their stuff. Rapid came in hot off a commentary, sat down, talked Brood War, talked Feels as a commentator, and was a great guest. Mr. Rapid, thank you for coming on. What are you up to? What can people follow you on, and tell them about you?
Yeah, I mean, you can just follow me on I think Twitter and Instagram are probably where I'm most active right now. Been taking some time off of esports to do some Zen mountain hiking and cooking a lot. So if you're interested in all that kind of stuff, you can just check Instagram. I think later on today, I'm going to the launch of the Brood War announcer pack. There's an offline event that's happening in Seoul. So if you're in Seoul, you can go down to COEX. It's the mall that's right next to the GSL studio. That's where they're giving away a bunch of stuff. So if you happen to be in South Korea, you can do that. If you can't, then you can buy that online. And then, yeah, I guess I'll probably post about what it is that I'm casting or streaming on Twitter. So it's probably the best place to follow me there. And if you're interested in updates or overviews about any of the great StarCraft events out there, I try to do videos on those on YouTube, which is also in the link that gets posted in the show notes. So you can find all that stuff there. And just a big thanks to everybody. Also wanted to give a big shout out to one of my favorite North American players, Semper, who finished taking the bar exam today.
Congratulations.
So, something he's been working a very long time for that.
Very, very cool. Thank you, Mr. Rapid. Ruby, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to be here. We always appreciate having you on. Busy guy, you're doing a lot of stuff. Where can people find you, and how's your stream doing? What are you up to?
Yeah, so I'm streaming every day at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. Besides that, I'm in 30 minutes going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons with Zombie Grub as the Dungeon Master, and Maynard, Livy, and Oli Moly are also going to be playing with me. So that's going to be like Lovecraftian kind of style Dungeons and Dragons. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's on Zombie Grub's channel, twitch.tv/ZombieGrub, and which is probably going to go live in like 15 minutes. So
very cool.
Check that out if you're looking for something to watch. Watch one StarCraft people meme around with that. But yeah, and then W6 Challenger this weekend. Tune in, meme, and have fun providing thoughtful criticism on casters, because I know you guys will.
Do that. Dan, the man, thank you so much for being who you are, loving StarCraft as hard as you do. We appreciate everything about you. What the hell? You are commentating a bunch. Tell people where it's happening, please.
Yeah. KSL tonight and tomorrow night. It's like 6.5 hours from right now. It'll be live, and that'll be on the StarCraft Twitch channel. And then on Saturday, it's that morning one, which is your Friday evening in America. We'll have GSL back, Sunday off, and then Monday through the next Saturday, the same thing, 4 days of GSL and 2 days of KSL. So super busy. Other than that, Pylon Show, keep watching, keep supporting. Thank you so much, everyone. And I have a new show with No Regret, and it's in depth. It's on my YouTube. Check it out too. It's good.
Artosis TV is where these things are going down, and it's fantastic content. A couple of great minds looking over some StarCraft stuff. For me personally, we will be having a Pylon Show next week. Like I said, we have a really cool guest that a lot of people, you can start guessing who it is. It's somebody that's very awesome that we have never had on the show, and I think you'll never. I think most of you will not know who I'm talking about.
It's tasteless.
No, yeah. Let me just Sorry, you're right. Anytime I say guess, you're gonna think it's tasteless. Guys, I'll let you know. But so far, Nick does not want to come on the Pylon show. It's just flat out not gonna happen. That is still the case. Anyways, this other guest is awesome, and we think it'll be really fun. Other than that, I've fallen down the XCOM hole again. I won a Warhammer tournament last weekend, so I'm very excited about that. But my stream has been quite eclectic these days. A lot of StarCraft, a lot of XCOM, this show, of course, and then I do a show called The Deadpan Diaries, which if you're thinking, no, it's not StarCraft, I don't care, that's fair. But it's a show I do with That Bronze Girl, who's a really awesome Twitch personality, and we talk about everything. In this last episode, we talked about spoilers, the Endgame movie. It was pretty fun, so you might want to check that out. That's on my YouTube, which is just iNcontroLTV, where a lot of my stream stuff goes as well. So maybe you can check it out. Guys, we really appreciate you. We love StarCraft. We couldn't do this show, we couldn't do StarCraft without people like you guys at home that enjoy this content. So much love. We appreciate you all. Thank you to the team that makes the Pylon show possible, Cobra and crew, as I often call them. I think we flashed those names. Let's do it again. There it is. These are the lovely people that make this possible. They do a lot of work, and I hate singling out just one, but I do have to. At this time, I'm going to single out Alleluia. He does the show, the timestamps. He's not just doing it for this show, but like as well as Deadpan Diaries. That's amazing. That's the kind of work that's like Chicken Factory work, and he does it with a smile on his face. It's fucking amazing. Thank you so much. Anyways, I love you guys. Have a great night. We'll see you guys soon. Okay.